He catches it on a switch. Bradley guarding him. Bilodeau pump fake goes up. Ball stripped away. Got it back. Put it up and scored it. Clark into Bilodeau and roll it up and in over 2 Wildcats. Here's Bradley driving. Scoop it up. In and out. No good. Went right around Bilodeau. Wouldn't fall. Arizona with the ball. Under a minute to go. Down by 1. Fired off to Lewis. KJ bounced past to Townsend. Posted up on Clark. Left of the lane. Backing his way down and dribbled the ball out of bounds for turnover number 22. Jaden Bradley will inbound it backcourt. 3-point lead for UCLA. He'll toss to Townsend, back to Bradley. To midcourt, feed it ahead to Lewis. KJ for the tie. It's an air ball, and that's it. The Bruins win their 8th game in a row. 57-54 the final.
Yeah, it was not a great Saturday for your Arizona Wildcats in Phoenix against the rival UCLA Bruins, but it is now Wednesday, another week, a new week, and there are 2 non-conference games remaining for the Wildcats to try to begin to figure things out as they get set for the arrival of Big 12 conference play, which is now just 12 days away, December the 30th, against the Texas Christian Horned Frogs. It is basketball night in Arizona. The Wildcats and Samford Bulldogs tonight at McKale Center. Tip-off is straight ahead, coming up for you at 7 o'clock. Meridian Wealth Management, Arizona Game Day. I'm David Kelly, joined as always by Kelvin Efon and J.W. Madden. We've got you until 6:30 tonight. Packed show as always. Let's tell you all about it.
Take a look at the Right Way Rundown and see what's coming up on our pregame show. Brought to you by Right Way Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing. Do things the right way.
All right, straight ahead in this segment, we're going to talk to the athletics director at the University of Arizona, Desiree Reed-Francois, as they are getting set to honor one T.J. McConnell tonight, 10th year in the National Basketball Association, and because of that, he is going up into the Ring of Honor tonight. So we'll hear from Desiree on all of the festivities. That is going to be a pregame. Normally they do these things at halftime. That'll be a pregame tonight because I think the team is getting out of there at halftime to get up to Phoenix for their game tomorrow against the Suns. We'll take our first look at the Samford Bulldogs, who come in here with a style that is sure to give fits to the Arizona Wildcats. We'll shine a spotlight on one of your Wildcats, Anthony Delorso, who's starting to carve out his niche on this Arizona basketball team. Corey Williams will join us courtside. He'll call the game tonight on ESPN+. We'll get the thoughts of the forward from 1996. You'll hear from T.J. McConnell as well coming up tonight, as well as his teammates. Your best bets over on the big board at the Desert Diamond Casino Sportsbook tonight. Arizona is a 19.5-point favorite. Over-under, back up to normal. Way past normal. Really, again, normally it's in the 150s. Tonight we're at 167.5 on this game. So I guess they maybe think that Arizona's going to be angry and Samford will come in here and put up points like they've done all season long. Also, we're going to talk to a new sponsor we've got on our Arizona Wildcats athletics broadcast, Josh Reddick from Desert Sky Spine and Pain. They have carved out a niche as one of the premier sports health places in the country for professional athletes right here in our own backyard. And we'll talk to Josh Reddick about what they've got going on over there at Desert Sky Spine and Pain as well. All of that coming up for you straight ahead as we take you to 6:30 and coverage on the network side with Brian Jeffries and Ryan Hansen. All right, guys, I went back and Kelvin, J-Dub and I talked a lot about this on the show yesterday, but after going back and breaking down the tape again and taking a better look at the game from that perspective, my takeaway after watching it was that I thought that Arizona's defense overall was very good, especially on the perimeter. I thought they played as good as perimeter defense as they played all season. They just could not defend the post in the final 10 minutes when the Bruins decided to start feeding it in there to Tyler Bilodeau. And part of that was you had a young man in Henry Vesar who, again, he's in his third year in college, but essentially he's still a freshman because he hasn't really played at this level. He had never been in a game like that before against a rival in an NBA building with all eyes on him, having to play in crunch time, and guys got to learn how to do that at this level.
Oh, yeah, you definitely have to know how to play when the lights really come on. I mean, and that comes with the experience of getting into the games and getting the minutes. Again, with Vasar being there, it makes it tough for him a lot of time because the minutes are getting split 3 ways, right? So he had some time there. But, again, I still don't think it was the defense was there. I have no problem with the defense, but we got to score. You have to score to be able to win basketball games. And I don't mind winning defensively as well, but you have to score. And I think, to me, that's what a real problem was. I really didn't have the guy went at Vasar a little bit. Coach didn't double and help him at all right there.
Yeah, no, it was one-on-one.
It was one-on-one, so they were comfortable. But what he didn't want to do was leave other guys open on the perimeter. But I just feel like that just got to get some better offense going, man. Put the ball in the basket because that makes your defense better when your offense is working for you.
Yeah, I mean, I agree totally. I think we talked quite a bit this week about the defense improving, especially those corner threes. We didn't see a lot of open threes. The issue with Bilodeau, guys, is he's 6'9", and he takes 3 threes a game at a decent clip. So the problem there, Kelvin, is that's not the not the first or the last Tyler Bilodeau you're going to see this season. There's a lot of 6'9" guys, Kelvin, who can go out too quick for a big guy to go out there and try to move their feet and stay in front. Too big for a guy in the post. So what do? Well, you got to, the option, obviously we know Tobe Awaka only played 14 minutes in that game. On the post, Bilodeau is doing all his damage down that stretch, DK, by taking advantage of Henry Vasar. Obviously, has less experience than some of the other guys. Bilodeau's been a starter his whole career. That last stretch there was just strength for UCLA. Meanwhile, Arizona was having a lot of empty possessions. We did all the stats in the post game. They had 3 free throws. Was their only scoring in the last 9 minutes of that game. So got to find a better way to at least get to the free throw line, Kelvin, when you're in the double bonus for the last 12 minutes of the game.
Exactly. We talked about that. And I'll also say this. Once that guy started cooking and knocking down shots, UCLA wasn't shooting that well from the three-point line.
Both teams combined, I think, were 1 for 15 in the second half.
Okay.
From 3.
So that's why I'm sending my double.
Right.
I'm sending my double. I understand my game plan, but you adjust your game plan as the game's going along by what's happening.
Make them prove they can knock the shot down.
Right? Yeah. So I'm gonna send that double over there. You're gonna have to. The whole game, you guys have not been playing well, and of course, you don't want to leave someone open and they hit you late. But those are the different chances that you take as coaches to help your team figure out a way to get a dub. You seen Cronin? I mean, he was doubling every time. Same with West Virginia. Remember they was doing that to us?
Yeah.
Double every time and force. Let's see if the shooter's gonna make a shot. I'd rather lose with you knocking down threes than getting me in the mid post or dunking on me.
Let's hear from the head coach, Tommy Lloyd, on the loss to UCLA.
It's one of those, conflicting deals. We made progress. We did make progress. We had a feeling that we were fighting for and we were playing better, and then, just kind of we didn't take care of business down the stretch, and it's obviously disheartening.
Disheartening indeed. 22 turnovers in the game. Jaden Bradley says that's what the Bruins will do to you.
Yeah, they do a great job, spinning you up and making you make decisions. And I feel like for this game, we took some, bad decisions, but at some point we went on a little run and we made some great decisions. So he's got to look at the film and clean it up.
Yeah, and it really goes back to what we've been talking about all year long, and Tommy Lloyd kind of reiterates that here is that this team has got to be, especially in the middle of the key and around the basket, they've got to be stronger with the basketball in their hands.
They took the ball from us like 15 times. I mean, these turnovers weren't like crazy passes. They just literally came and took the ball out of our hands, and just, hey, and they're ball hawks. I'll give them credit, but we got to be tougher than that. I mean, we got to have a little more toughness, I mean, it's that's one of those things, you can say the scheme, the concepts, whatever. The dude's got to hold on to the ball. And, that's their responsibility, and they're accountable for that. And we didn't do a great job.
Yeah, Kelvin, there's not all turnovers. Not all turnovers are created equal. The one I remember is Townsend at the top of the key just got the ball taken right out of his hands. The one where Vasar stepped out of bounds, that probably is on Caleb. Bad pass there to the guy, big man in the corner. and then Townsend dribbling the ball right out of bounds. Like, if you're trying to force action, you're trying to make something happen, Kelvin, and something goes down, ball goes out of bounds, whatever. But if it's just one of those silly turnovers, not by trying to force some kind of action and going towards the rim, especially in a tight game like that, you just got to clean up those unforced errors.
Yeah, no, it's tough too because we said in the pregame show how handsy UCLA was, and I got that handsy word from guess who? Coach Lloyd, right? Coach Lloyd always talk about how handsy UCLA was, and it just seemed like the guys wasn't ready for that. It seemed like they should have been ready to. We call it chinning the ball, right, J-Dub? Where you grab it with two hands and squeeze it and chin it right to your chin where your elbows are out almost like weapons, right? So the guys don't want to come up, close to you or whatever, and you be real physical because you know they're coming. And I can understand J-Dub maybe once or twice, but once they started getting down into, taking it away from us 8 or 9 times, man, that's when it was a little tough, and you wish the guys just would have adjusted.
Mick Cronin on getting that ball into Tyler Bilodeau when the Bruins, I should say, needed to kind of begin to make a run.
Jay, you got to get him the ball. We got to try to run offense, and when you have a guy that when you try to run offense to get something easy and you don't, that you can get it to him, that's who you should get it to instead of a dribble routine to a hard shot. But he took a really bad one, and I took him out. We got to run our offense and get it inside. You got to trust. You got to throw to Diamaro the ball. I know he traveled the first half on one, guys, but I'm just telling you, that move he made was big time, and it had a lot to do with our comeback. We got to get him the ball more.
All right, it is Arizona Wildcats game day. Meridian Wealth Management, Arizona game day, getting you set for the Wildcats and the Samford Bulldogs tonight over at McKale Center. Let's go to the hotline. Pleased to be joined by the athletics director at the University of Arizona, Desiree Reed-Francois. And Desiree, we were just talking about the loss to UCLA. Your thoughts? I believe you were there on Saturday. What did you think?
I was there, and there were a lot of lessons to learn from it. But you know what? I am excited about tonight. And tonight, I have never met TJ McConnell, and I am, I've watched some highlights of him, and it's what I find really special is the fact that Coach Carlisle has taken the entire Pacers team, and they're flying here to Tucson, and they're going to all be here to support their teammate, and it personifies the bear down spirit. So I'm really looking forward to this evening.
Yeah, how do you manage that?
Candidly,
how do you manage that,
candidly,
Desiree?
we're all looking forward to getting that bad taste out of our mouth of that UCLA game. So I love your intro there. Thanks for starting us out on that note there, friend.
How do you manage that, Desiree, by bringing in an NBA team into the arena on a game night? That's a pretty big undertaking, I would imagine.
You know what? It's really just a testament. They wanted to be a part, and they really wanted to celebrate one another. When we've talked when we've analyzed kind of what makes championship programs, it's obviously great talent, but it's also great leadership and great culture. And I don't know very much about the Pacers, but when I see a team supporting one another, that tells me a little bit about their culture. So I'm just really appreciative of Coach Carlisle and the whole Pacers organization. We've got a couple of Wildcats on there with Ben Matherin, and now we get to honor TJ McConnell. So fans should come out early. We're going to have TJ McConnell posters available tonight, but his Ring of Honor ceremony is going to be pregame, so their whole team can be there.
Yeah, again, that's going to be at 6:45, tip-off at 7, so it'll be in the pregame side versus halftime when we normally have these events. And talk about, teams supporting teams, man, as it was great last night at McKale Center. Arizona Volleyball wins the NIVC championship. I walk into the building, and I walk by the football players were there. I got to where I was positioned, and I see some of the men's basketball team was there. I see the women's basketball team there. I mean, there was a lot of the athletes that were in the building last night supporting that volleyball team.
It was swimming was there, softball was there. I think all of our student athletes that hadn't gone home for the holidays were there. Coach, one thing we all appreciate about Coach Rita is she supports other teams. And so when it's her turn, like, we're all going to be there for her. It wasn't an electric atmosphere last night.
It was awesome. It was absolutely awesome to have that crowd in there last night, and to, again, you don't want to have to go 5 sets, but why not in a championship match take it all the way to the end? I think that made it even more exciting.
Oh my gosh, yes, and Jalen Hodge, and she's a 5th-year senior, and it was a special way for her to end her career as the MVP. And Rita she has that program heading in the right direction, and they won 11 in a row. So and it gave these, like, it's a young team other than, Jalen and Jordan, but like Avery is a freshman. We have Carly, she's a freshman. So it's giving them a chance to have a glimpse, extra practice reps, of course, but also a glimpse of what championship experiences are like, so that next year we're poised really well for the NCAA tournament.
Well, and I'm sure you've heard the story, Desiree, obviously, with winning the women's NIT in basketball a few years ago, and what that did for Adia and her program. It essentially launched them into where they are now, and so you can only hope that it's the same thing on the volleyball side for Sharita Stubbs and her program. I come to these events, Desiree, and I'm always up high, and I like to kind of spy and see who's there and put my camera on people, and I spotted you sitting kind of behind the one end last night, and I kind of was watching you a little bit. I was like, she doesn't look real nervous. I was good to see you didn't look real nervous down there last night.
Oh gosh, you know what? I get up and I walk around a lot. Like, I don't normally sit in one place very often. I like to go check on how everything's doing, but really I just get nervous, and so I need to walk. But I'm glad I was hiding it well. So I brought a group of people with me, and so it was phenomenal to see how much they enjoyed it.
Yeah, I saw a bunch of kids that were down there with you enjoying the festivities as well. You guys have got some things. Obviously, we're coming up on the holidays, but we've got a basketball game this Saturday. But I also understand that there's a 5K run going on this weekend that a bunch of folks in the department are doing.
Yes, we are. Sorry, I'm coughing a little bit,
oh,
David.
Well,
I think I was yelling a little too much last night. So
well,
I apologize.
Catch your breath there. Catch your breath and get your bearings.
Thank you. Sorry about that. So, yes, we are really looking forward to our staff participating in the Tucson Run Rudolph 5K on Saturday over at Silverball District Park, and it's going to be outstanding. We talked about women's basketball, and I'm looking forward to them starting Big 12 action. But right when I was coming back from a meeting, I see this truck full of teddy bears, and our women's basketball team is out there, and they're getting ready to go distribute teddy bears to Casa de los Niños.
Oh, that's awesome.
So, it's the special part, like people, the young people that I have the privilege of working with every day. They're the reason why we love what we do, and it's what makes it so special. So sorry about the coughing fit.
That's okay. That's okay. You're out there, like I said, you're out there late nights cheering on your teams, and sometimes the voice isn't always what you want it to be the next day. That's for sure. But you mentioned that event going on. That's awesome to hear. Women's basketball involved with Casa de los Niños. We've mentioned some of the other events happening throughout the holidays. And I know the kids are starting to feel a lot better now that the finals are coming to an end. Do you get a sense this week that things have begun to calm down a little bit? There's not as much stress happening around the athletic complex?
You know what? It's a little more empty in my academic center, in the Jenny L. Clemens Academic Center. I missed them already, but we have like 5 straight nights of events, and then on Saturday, not only do we have basketball, but we have swimming and diving, and we swim against BYU this weekend. So if people are looking for a break from holiday last-minute shopping, come by on Friday at 1 or 10:30 on Saturday.
All right, are you still a go to the the store shopper, or do you do all yours online?
You know what? I am a combination of both. I try and get everything online, and then invariably I forget something or someone, and I am a last-minute race to the store kind of person too. So my husband's a great partner in that, but oh man, sometimes I kind of forget it. I'm a list person, David. How about you?
A list? I like to do at least, I've kind of half and half. I like to do some of my shopping because I have people that live all over the country, so I have to shop online for them. But in terms of like my wife and my mom, I like to at least go in and get the smell of the stores and see all the decorations. I like to at least try to do a little bit of that every year. So that'll probably be me on Sunday and Monday coming up.
Well, fantastic. Well, I hope you have a wonderful holiday, and I'll look forward. We're going to see you tonight?
I will be there tonight. Yes, I'll be there tonight and Saturday. Yes.
Oh, and then on Saturday at halftime of the men's basketball game, we have a baby race.
Oh.
So anybody has any babies, come see if they can be the fastest young Wildcat fan. How about that?
I think I've seen one or two of those races in the past. Those are always fun to watch. I think we had the dog race. Was that last? When we had was the dog race? Was that? Oh, that was over the weekend. I think was that at the UCLA game. I think they had the dog race at halftime. That was pretty impressive as well. Hey, Desiree.
Wonderful.
Desiree, appreciate you as always. Happy holidays to you and your family, you and your husband Jackson, and everyone else in your family. We look forward to talking to you after the first of the year.
Happy holidays to you and Happy New Year.
Happy New Year indeed. Bear Down, Arizona. Desiree Reed-Francois, the athletics director at the University of Arizona. It is Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day. We are getting you set for Samford and the Wildcats tonight at McKale Center. Tip-off coming up at 7 o'clock. Much more straight ahead. You are listening to Wildcats Radio 1290.
Our Window Depot coverage of Arizona basketball is just getting started. This is Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day. Hour 1 of the pregame show is brought to you by Desert Diamond Casinos, First Chiropractic, Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care, Picture Rocks Cooling, Heating and Plumbing, Restaurant Supply Store, Royal GMC Buick and Cadillac, Royal Kia, Royal Jaguar Land Rover, the Polston Results Team with Keller Williams Southern Arizona, the Window Depot, and by Meridian Wealth Management. Wealth well managed, life well lived.
Driving the lane, dunking on the competition, and playing as a team. These are things we'll see this season watching our Wildcats play basketball. These happen to be the things you'll also find when you buy your next vehicle from O'Reilly Chevrolet. The only difference is at O'Reilly, nobody gets penalized for traveling. Heck, we actually encourage it. See us on Broadway next to Park Place Mall. Call 747-8000 or find new roads at O'Reilly.com, where you can experience our version of a steal. O'Reilly Chevrolet, more than a great price.
O'Reilly Chevrolet.
Don't hold back. Just dive right in. This is Desert Diamond, the round-the-clock, off-the-charts, over-the-top spectacle that puts a shine on any day, anytime. The tables are hot to the touch. The slots are spinning winners every day. And the point spreads are yours for the taking. So go ahead. Live the diamond life. Desert Diamond Casino. Visit ddcaz.com.
An enterprise of the Tohono Nation.
Sean Furrier for Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care. Our Black Friday week of savings has been extended into December. Right now, every set of tires is on sale and you can stack on manufacturer's rebates for even more savings, up to $180 more. We've also got popular maintenance services at up to 50% off to get you road trip ready for all your holiday travel. Jack Furrier's 14 area locations are ready to help. So call, stop by, or visit us online at jackfurriers.com. Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care. Since 1960, we're here to get you there.
Hi, this is Peter Costa, former governor of the New York Stock Exchange and proud member of the Advisory Business Council with Meridian Wealth Management. One thing I've learned over 40 years on the floor is the value of a trusting relationship with your financial advisor. After all, everyone is a genius when the markets are going up, but when they drop, that's when the guidance of a professional is most important. For more information about Meridian, call 719-1433 or visit online at meridianwealthllc.com.
Advisory services provided by Meridian Wealth Management, a registered investment advisor.
Hey,
homeowners, are you ready to chill out and go green? Goodfellas Air Conditioning can help. Introducing our latest lineup of energy-efficient systems featuring the new R32 refrigerant. It's cooler, greener, and better for the planet. You'll enjoy lower energy bills and a smaller carbon footprint. Not a fan of change? Goodfellas has a surplus of reliable R410 systems available. Unsure about what system you have or have questions? Give us a call for a free inspection. Goodfellas Air Conditioning, keeping it cool, keeping it green, and always keeping you comfortable.
The garage is more than a place to park your car. It holds prized possessions, and for most, it's a bustling entryway to the home. That's why LiftMaster designed the first ever opener with a built-in wide-angle camera and two-way audio, so you can see what matters and secure what's inside. Ensure your family and prized possessions are secure with a reliable garage door opener that's built to last and powered by MyQ for smartphone control. The team at Kaiser Garage Doors and Gates are your locally owned LiftMaster professionals. Visit kaisergarage.com to learn more.
Well, boss, how's the sleigh?
It's amazing. Like it just flew off the showroom floor. Sparkling clean, no chimney dust, and I've never seen his nose so bright.
Recon Auto Detailing.
Recon gift cards to all, and to all a clean ride.
Give Recon Auto Detailing gift cards, and Arizona's premier auto detailing company will come do a basic cleaning or a jaw-dropping full detail, including a ceramic finish for anyone on your list. Get your Recon Auto Detailing gift cards now online at recondetail.com.
Honey, our yard's full of weeds. Looks like a jungle and the neighbors are complaining.
I know. I'm trying to get rid of them, but the product I'm using, it doesn't work. Oh. Not to mention, I don't have the time.
But it's not just weeds.
It's not?
No, I'm seeing ants.
Ants?
Yeah, and spiders.
Ooh, spiders.
I know, and I think I saw a scorpion.
No way.
Yes way, and there's a pack rat in our garage.
Ew. Okay, I'll call University Termite and Pest Control today. We'll get rid of all of them.
Okay, honey, thank you.
University Termite and Pest Control, locally owned. Find them online at bepestfree.com.
KCUB Tucson, a Cumulus media station. You're listening to the flagship of Arizona Wildcats athletics. This is Wildcats Radio 1290. Our Window Depot coverage of U of A basketball continues. This is the Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day pregame show on Wildcats Radio 1290. Now back to your hosts, David Kelly, the captain Kelvin Ifan, and J.W. Madden.
Game night in Arizona. Arizona Wildcats, Samford Bulldogs on the horizon at McKale Center, Meridian Wealth Management, Arizona Game Day. Glad to have the opportunity to chat with Desiree Reed-Francois on the show today. We were talking about last night and the victory for Arizona volleyball. Congratulations again to Coach Stubbs and her squad on winning the National Invitational Volleyball Championships. The ladies from Ohio did not make it easy on them. The Bowling Green Falcons had a 2-1 lead and looked like they were about to come in and steal this upset and steal the title, but the Wildcats rallied to win Game 3 and then just came and blew the doors off Game 5, taking an immediate 5-0 lead and cruised to the 15-9 win in the 5th set to take the match. So congratulations to all those ladies. Jalen Hodge, the MVP. If we get some time, we'll let you hear a little bit from them coming up a little bit later in the show. This will be the second meeting, only one previous meeting in this series with the Samford Bulldogs, and that came back in 2006 here in Tucson, a game that Arizona won 86-57. Wildcats, of course, coming off the loss to UCLA. That was on Saturday in Phoenix by a score of 57-54. Tommy Lloyd and company, they did not... Their coaches, Tommy and his coaching staff, did not sub a lot in that second half. We talked about it after the game, the kind of some interesting clock situations there with the Wildcats having to take 2 dead ball timeouts to keep possession, and then the clock, the under 8 break the under 4 break went past about 2 minutes. As well. And so Tommy talked a little bit this week about the lack of subbing that Arizona did in the second half of that loss to the Bruins.
I don't think there was a lot of dead balls, for one. I mean, I think that probably played into it, too, because I know Murph and I were talking, hey, should we do this? Should we do that? And, this is just, only having that one time out. I mean, obviously, if you're asking me in hindsight, I should have called it. That's easy in hindsight. But also, I could have called it, and we get to the last minute of the game, and we don't have a timeout, and you guys could be saying, well, you wasted all your time, you know what I mean? So, you just never know. with that. What's going to sway it one way or the other? And traditionally, I'm a guy who likes to have a timeout. And yes, you guys know I usually like having a couple timeouts the last minute or two of a game. But we lost those 2 timeouts when guys were trying to save possessions, and I'm not faulting them for that. That's what they did, and that's what they did, and their instincts told them to do in that moment. We saved the possession, and we just didn't have any timeouts down the stretch to maybe, that we would have liked to have, or maybe I should have used that one, but I didn't.
So there were a lot of factors obviously going on down the stretch with that situation. Tommy mentioned there, guys, that he and Murph were kind of talking about the whole thing as they were going through it. And Kelvin, that's the assistant coach's job is to make sure the coach is aware of where the clock is, what the timeout situation is, and how to utilize the time management the best you can for the benefit of your team.
That's exactly your job, and sometimes as a head coach, you kind of got to have a guy in that second seat that's a little pesky, that's a little pest, that pesky, that'll get on your nerves a little bit, because he understands probably more than anybody else the game plan and everything that we put into these different games. And as a head coach, sometimes you got so many things going on that you might not be thinking right sometimes. So you need someone that you trust to be able to say, hey, don't forget we got that in the pocket, and maybe we need to call that timeout. Now, maybe we make a decision, maybe I make a decision to say, I'm going to save it. But you just got to always have that guy that you trust that's willing to just step up and just say, hey, this is what we need right now.
Let's hear also from Tommy Lloyd after the ball game in terms of, again, not making closing plays. Closing time, as we said, the Wildcats just could not close out that game after having a 13-point lead against the Bruins.
You're looking at some of these games, like that game. I think we out-rebounded them by 10, which is, that's pretty good against UCLA. But there were timely rebounds down the stretch that, you're just like, that were just backbreakers. And those are the winning plays you got to fight for. If you win by 10 on the glass, but you give them 2 or 3 offensive rebounds down the stretch, it's almost like undoing all the positive you did. So we can get better in those areas.
When you say maybe they can help make it easier for each other on both ends, you mean in movement or what kind of things?
Spacing, movement, fundamentals, getting the ball to your hands quicker, getting it to the next guy, creating little advantages, finding momentum within a possession and then trying to hold on to that advantage and, forcing the defense in tough spots. And, we've been good at it throughout the years. It's just not coming as easy with this group. So, we're honing in on it, in practice. I mean, obviously there's conversations, there's meetings, but now it's getting to the point where, we're going to keep pushing and squeezing. We're not running from our responsibilities, but we got to see it on a game night. We got to see it on a game night.
No question about that. And a game night that involves a team from Power 4. Versus game nights like you've got coming up again. But again, this is going to be a test tonight. Not to say that neither of these two games are going to not be tests for the Wildcats. Samford today and Central Michigan on Saturday. But you definitely want to see those things that he was talking about when the lights go on. And it's coming up real quick, as we said, December the 30th, when the Wildcats will welcome in TCU for their first conference game in the Big 12. What did Mick Cronin have to think about the Arizona Wildcats?
Their effort was awesome. I thought they played extremely hard, man. I mean, Tommy's does a great job. They got a lot of pride in their program. They needed this game. When you're in a league as good as some of these leagues, your fate will be decided in your conference. They're going to have plenty of chances. But, they played hard, man. Give them some credit, man. It ain't all just, our lack of, they did a lot of stuff, man. Their kids really played hard.
That they did. Let's start to take a look at what we've got tonight with the Samford Bulldogs.
Our first look at today's Arizona men's basketball game is brought to you by The Window Depot. Lowest prices and biggest inventory. Shop thewindowdepot.com.
Bradley throw it inside to Basar, knocked away and stolen by Perry. He's double teamed, then his pass, stolen back but falling out of bounds.
This Samford team comes in here at 9-2 on this season. They do a lot of things. They like to press. This is going to be a good challenge, I think, for the Arizona Wildcats coming off the loss to UCLA. Not a pushover at all in this Samford team, says Tommy Lloyd.
This team's a one of one, the way they play. There's no one else playing like it. So, the advantage goes to them as far as that's going. So we've got to come out and we've got to handle their pressure, their chaos. They're good at it. There's substance to it. So it's going to be an incredible challenge, and they're coming in here to win the game tomorrow, and we got to have a full understanding of that.
And when Tommy says they are one of one and they're doing it like nobody else, what exactly are they doing, Coach?
They press a lot. There's different presses. It's every possession. It's on made shots. It's on missed shots. They're good playing in scrambles. I'm sure, they think that, there's a cumulative effect to what they do. That you might get them a couple possessions, but over the course of the time, they could probably wear you down in your discipline. And because they play like it all the time. That's how they play every day. And so, you got to come out and you got to really, trust your toughness, trust your fundamentals, and you got to trust that, when you make a mistake, because you're going to make some, that you can bounce back. It's not the end of the world. There's going to be a lot of possessions. And then, you come down to the other end of the floor. Once you do beat their pressure, then, they change defenses in the half court. I mean, they have a variety of defenses they play, so you're not getting the same look at anything. And then offensively, they got a good plan. I mean, they got a multitude of things they do. They got good decision makers. I mean, they got a point guard who's been in college basketball a long time, and, he knows how to play. And he knows what the coach wants to do, and he's kind of a really talented run the team point guard who can make 30-foot 3-point shots. So I mean they present a lot of challenges.
This was a late add to the schedule. How did you get this game put in?
Well, I mean it's just one of those games. I mean they were persistent in asking, and I was persistent in not accepting, and then we needed a game. It kind of came down to the end, and we needed to kind of fill that last spot, and it was just kind of what worked, and we pulled the trigger on it. So you know what? It's exactly the challenge we need right now. There's a reason we scheduled it, and maybe I didn't know the reason at the time, but now I do, because this is the challenge this group needs.
And you know what? The main reason that Tommy might have been running from these guys, they are the second leading scoring team in the nation at 90 points per game. That's why that over-under is so high tonight at 167 and a half.
But Kelvin, every single team we've seen for 26 months has sprinted back because they don't want Arizona running on them. Right. I think Tommy is probably pretty excited about letting his boys get out and go. The question there is 22 turnovers versus the Bruins. That's not something you can do against a team that's got, 9 different presses in their arsenal are going to press off of made buckets.
But you know what? A perfect opportunity to show what you learned from that UCLA game, because now you're playing another team that's pressuring full time, full goal the whole time. So I think it's now you're not going to play too many other teams that play that style, but just having to go against that type of style after you've had a tough goal of turning over the ball, I think is great for the guys, because they're going to have to play strong with the ball, or it's going to be another tough night.
It's just ironic to me because you literally look at the scout that every single team's had. And number one on the top of that has been, do not let Arizona run on you. And this game is going to be, you talk about that over-under, DK. I mean, that's what they do. They're trying to speed teams up and get them faster than their standard pace.
But we have to watch out, though, because they will go back into a matchup 2-3 zone that really sags in, and they're trying to invite you to get into a 3-point contest with them, which I don't want to do.
No.
Which I don't want to do, because that's what they're doing.
Yeah.
They say, hey, we're going to go into a zone, and we're going to drop way back, and we're going to give you threes because we believe we can beat you in that contest. If they get us to doing that, they got us playing their game, right?
Oh, yeah.
Samford averages 90.5 points per ball game. The only team in Division I that scores more than them, Mark Pope's Kentucky Wildcats. That is our first look at Samford and Arizona.
That's been our first look at today's Arizona men's basketball game. Brought to you by The Window Depot. Lowest prices and biggest inventory. Shop thewindowdepot.com.
And don't forget, Window Depot also sponsors Arizona's top rebounding performance every night. It's the Window Depot Glass Cleaner of the game. Might be the Wildcat with the most rebounds. Might be the U of A star with the most impactful boards. We will tell you the Window Depot Glass Cleaner of the game coming up tonight. Meridian Wealth Management, Arizona Game Day, the post-game show.
Kelvin, You want to hear some of these names from the last time these two teams matched up?
Ooh.
We got Chase, Mustafa, Marcus Williams was on that team. Marcus Williams, Juan McClellan, Radenovich, Nick Wise, Brett Braillemeyer, David Baga, Mohamed Timgara, like Jordan Hill, like that was the 2006 team was when the only time these two teams have ever matched up. Some great names on that squad.
Indeed. That was right a couple years before I got to town. So last time these two teams got together. Meridian Wealth Management, Arizona Game Day. Much more coming for you straight ahead. We'll shine a spotlight on Anthony Del Orso next, along with Calvin Ifan and J.W. Madden. I'm David Kelly. You're listening to Wildcats Radio 1290.
Do you often worry you left your garage door open? With the LiftMaster Garage Door Opener powered by MyQ, you'll never worry again. You can control, secure, and monitor your garage from your smartphone anytime from anywhere through the MyQ app. As an authorized LiftMaster dealer, we have smart openers designed for your needs, including belt drive motors for ultra-quiet operation, integrated camera for live video streaming, and battery backup that lets you in when the power is out. The team at Kaiser Garage Doors and Gates are your locally owned LiftMaster professionals. Visit kaisergarage.com to learn more.
Does it feel like the price of everything is going up, up, up? We can't control the price of gas or groceries, but at Royal Buick GMC, we never add market adjustments, even while other dealers add fees because inventory is limited. At Royal Buick GMC, you can rest assured you won't pay market adjustments, and we stand by our transparent online pricing. Royal Buick GMC, the dealership that's different. OAC plus tax, title, license, dealer installed options, and $529 doc fee. Royal Buick GMC, in the Auto Mall and at RoyalTucson.com.
Honey, our yard's full of weeds. Looks like a jungle and the neighbors are complaining.
I know. I'm trying to get rid of them, but the product I'm using, it doesn't work. Not to mention, I don't have the time.
But it's not just weeds.
It's not?
No, I'm seeing ants.
Ants?
Yeah, and spiders.
Ooh, spiders.
I know, and I think I saw a scorpion.
No way.
Yes way, and there's a pack rat in our garage.
Ew. Okay, I'll call University Termite and Pest Control today. We'll get rid of all of them.
Okay, honey, thank you.
University Termite and Pest Control, locally owned. Find them online at bepestfree.com.
As Arizona's leading personal injury law firm for more than 35 years, Goldberg & Osborne agrees. Bear down, Arizona. With offices statewide, including Tucson and Sierra Vista, the Eagle gives you home field advantage. More than 2,200 five-star Google reviews prove Goldberg & Osborne has the playbook for any situation. So after an accident, let the attorneys voted best personal injury law firm 4 years in a row tackle that insurance company and get you the settlement you deserve. Goldberg & Osborne, 1-800-THE-EAGLE.
Don't hold back. Just dive right in. This is Desert Diamond. The round-the-clock, off-the-charts, over-the-top spectacle that puts a shine on any day, anytime. The tables are hot to the touch. The slots are spinning winners every day. And the point spreads are yours for the taking. So go ahead. Live the diamond life. Desert Diamond Casino. Visit ddcaz.com.
An enterprise of the Donna Autumn Nation.
Think of waking up with energy, standing tall and feeling free. Think First Chiropractic, good health is to enjoy.
First Chiropractic is pleased to announce that Access Health Plans now cover chiropractic care. A referral by your PCP is required. For more information, go to firstchiro.com, the most trusted name in chiropractic care. A proud U of A radio sponsor.
First Chiropractic, good health is to enjoy.
Sean Furrier for Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care. Our Black Friday week of savings has been extended into December. Right now, every set of tires is on sale, and you can stack on manufacturer's rebates for even more savings, up to $180 more. We've also got popular maintenance services at up to 50% off to get you road trip ready for your holiday travel. And beyond the amazing low total tire prices, we'll include Jack's Plus Pack, a dozen tire-related services like touchless mounting, computerized balancing, new rubber stems, including the reset for tire pressure monitoring systems. Plus, you'll also get a lifetime of tire maintenance, rotations, rebalancing, and tire repairs. Jack's Plus Pack is a $249 value, and it's included with your new set of tires. We'll even throw in a free wheel alignment check if you want it, and it's all at the guaranteed lowest price. Get ready for holiday travel at any of Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care's 14 area locations. Call, stop by, or visit us online. Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care, since 1960, we're here to get you there.
Our Window Depot coverage of U of A basketball continues. This is the Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day pregame show on Wildcats Radio 1290. Now back to your hosts, David Kelly, the Captain Kelvin Ifan, and J.W. Madden. Our pregame show Spotlight on a Cat is brought to you by O'Reilly Chevrolet. Get more with O'Reilly Chevrolet.
Anthony Del Orso, over the course of the last 5 games, 11 of 17 from three-point land. That is 65%, although he took just one shot from three. He took just one shot, period, in the game against UCLA. That was a 3, and he made it.
Straight away, open 3. Why not? Good again.
Back-to-back possessions, a lack of recognition. Arizona's best three-point shooter by percentage this season. Delhi had 2 wide-open shots, knocked them both down.
And that percentage on the season now at 52%, as Anthony Del Orso has made 16 of his 31 three-point attempts. Let's hear from the transfer guard from Campbell on his resurgence within this Arizona Wildcats rotation.
Well, Deli, what did you think after the game? Did you kind of review a lot of that game and kind of what happened to the offense and where you guys are at? Your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, we of course watch film and, recap it. Every game's a learning, experience. I know turnovers is a big thing that we kind of covered and just like how those turnovers happened, because that's essentially how we lost on points of turnovers and stuff like that. But I mean, it's not things that we can't correct, no things that we can't, watch film and get better at. So it's not a problem. It's just like you address it, you make adjustments in practice, and then you get ready for the next.
When you have,
go ahead. Well, I was just following up on that. Do you feel like, we were just talking with Tommy was saying, some of this toughness, some of this maybe making it easier for each other, some of it simply holding on the ball a little bit tougher, whatever. What do you think? I mean, but other than what UCLA was doing, that maybe are the biggest things you guys need to get out of that?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's an understanding of kind of what the other team's goal is. They were very, gap heavy, very like as soon as someone drove, they were almost all 5 guys just going straight at the ball, which meant that, the gaps were open, the throw aheads were open, back cuts were open, because we got, 3 or 4 dunks off back cuts and stuff. I think it's just that recognition of understanding what they're doing and how we can take advantage of that. Sometimes we made great plays. It wasn't like every time we dribbled, we turned it over, but it's just that recognition of like, all right, this is what they're doing. Let's use that against them rather than let's try and force the issue through, 2-3 people. But like I said, we've addressed it now. We've watched the film, we've seen it, and then we come to practice, and now it's like, let's play together. And, Tommy's on, us guards is big as well to like, play together and look for each other. So we're just building that connection every day to, have the confidence to throw ahead and expect the guy to be in the right spot.
You didn't face Samford when you were at Campbell, did you?
No.
Looking at the film, what makes them stand out from? Tommy said they were 1-1.
Yeah. They play a super unique style of basketball. Very high intensity, a lot of pressing. Pretty much all 5 guys pretty much go flat out to the ball. There's no real, I call it principle in terms of like who's getting back, who's crashing, like discipline and stuff like that. They kind of want to speed the other team up. They want to play super aggressive and try and force the issue. So it's on us to be disciplined, us to take that control factor, take care of the ball, because when we do that, we're going to get what you'll see run out open dunks, open layups. And it'll be like, wow, how did that happen?
Do you think UCLA in any way prepared you for it? I know it's not the exact same style, but they did have that swarming mentality defensively.
Yeah, I mean, of course, their hunt for the ball is definitely going to translate through the rest of the season, not just Samford, but I mean, that's a lot of teams. A lot of teams play that gap style and, rakes in the rake zone and stuff like that. So it definitely helps, for this game and, a bunch of them coming up.
You played a style at Campbell where you guys did, you passed and cut a lot, and then obviously in the preseason you probably went through a lot of that here. Is there something, especially UCLA, but maybe some of the other games where you said this just isn't working like it should work? And
our offense here?
Is there a link missing somehow, more than anything other than what you said?
I don't think there's anything missing. I don't think it's like we don't have the right people or the right, style of offense or coach's plan isn't right. I don't think it's any of that. I think it's just it takes time to connect and get the trust going and have that gel on the offensive end. It's not about this guy's not good at this or this guy's not good at that. It's just knowing that, yeah, all right, we trust each other on the court. We're willing to make the pass. We're willing to get it back. We trust the offense enough that it's going to come back to us. It's those questions. It's not about like, oh, I don't like this guy. I don't want to throw it. It's just time. It just takes time and it takes reps. So that's why in practice, he's on us, like I said, us guards, to really push the issue in terms of sharing the ball. because we essentially control the offense. Like the bigs are a big key, but the guards are the ones that have to control the game.
I think you've got the best three-point numbers so far for this year, but really haven't taken a lot of them. Is there a way that what you're doing can translate to other people as far as your effectiveness?
Definitely. I mean, a lot of guys doing great things, not just me, but we got to take advantage of what we have and our personnel and stuff like that. And I know Tommy's been big on, getting more shots for certain guys and getting the right people taking the right shots at the right time. So I think that's something that really hurt us last game. But that's something that, with time and with reps, we can understand. And that comes down to basketball IQ more than anything. But efficiency is all different ways, not just shooting, not just percentages. It's, when to pass, when not to pass, all that kind of stuff. So.
That's interesting. As a guy who does well off the catch and shoot particularly, does that put you on the end of this? And does that frustrate you sometimes where you maybe get open and you're ready and it's not getting to you for whatever reason? Or is there something else you can do to help?
I mean, it's basketball. You're not going to get it every time you're open. I mean, I would like to, of course. I'd love to get, 25 catch and shoot threes, but it's not going to happen. It's a matter of seeing what the game's giving you and where to get to. Next game, I might get a bunch of cuts and get 3 dunks. That's just how the game goes. So either way, whether you get the ball or not, you still got to do the right play, you still got to run, you still got to space the floor the right way, and then when time's right, the ball will come. You can't just give up because you're not getting it.
Are you feeling more comfortable in this after the first few games? Maybe it took a while for your feet to get wet?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, as every game goes on, I'm getting more and more comfortable, more confident. That's trusting the guys, trusting myself, them trusting me. It's all about, I see basketball as a very respect, it's a respect kind of aspect to it. Once you kind of prove yourself and the team can see oh, wow, this guy can really do this or that, that's when teams come together. And we're all fine for it. It's not like anyone's, comfortable and solidified, but I'm definitely more comfortable myself, and I definitely trust myself more, trying to almost get back to that kind of Campbell Daly that everyone's kind of seen.
Yeah, right. At this point, too, you've seen a lot more high major opponents. I'm wondering, if you feel like you're a lot more confident against the speed or defense or whatever that you've been seeing.
Yeah, I mean, it all takes time. I mean, playing in front of this many, these big crowds and this many people and in the stands, all those things that people don't think about, it takes time. But it's not like I've ever, weird in terms of confidence and oh, I don't think I can do this or that. It just takes time. And now I'm the most confident I've ever been. And next week I'll be more confident. So I have no doubts in my mind.
What's the mood of the team right now? I mean, people on the outside may look, well, you're 4-5, and then you're going to Big 12. How many wins are they going to have? Are they going to be on the bubble? Whatever. What do you guys think? And is there belief that you're going to turn around? It's going to be a lot better than the way it is now, or kind of what's the mood?
I mean, the mood's always great. It's realistically, conference hasn't started. Nothing really matters up until this point. When we start in December, TCU's our first game. Then it's all right, our goals are still the same. They never change. We could be 0-11 right now, 0-9. We wouldn't care because we still have the goal of a Big 12 championship. We still have a goal to make the tournament. We still have a dream to make the national championship game and win it. It doesn't matter whether we win or lose. So the mood's the same. It's all business. It's nothing personal. There's no time, especially now. There's no time to be doubting and sitting in our feelings and getting all emotional. We just don't have the time for that. Now it's time to really put the foot down and actually get to the business.
I was just curious.
Oh, go ahead. No.
Well, I was just curious what your plans are. I doubt you're going back to Australia for Christmas. So, are you planning to hang out here, or what's?
Yeah. I'll be around here. Working out still. I'll be up in Phoenix a little bit too. Unfortunately, not enough time to go back home, but my family was just here, so it was great to see them and stuff like that. But I mean, all the other guys, everyone's going around different places, seeing family when you can. We only really get a couple days, so it's more just a quick hello and then straight back to practice. So.
What is the right amount of time to be able to have off to get back to Australia and enjoy it and come back?
I've always said the minimum amount of time for me to go back would be probably about 2 weeks. Okay. Because to fly back takes me about 2.5 days to get back because of the time change. So there's already half the week gone almost. So then 2 weeks, at least 1 week of actually enjoying it before I fly all the way back.
So how many times have you been back since Campbell went?
I went back after my freshman year, then came back to my sophomore year, and this year I didn't go back. So I've been once in the last 2 years. But like I said, my family comes here a bunch, so I still see everyone and they come to games and stuff. So.
Did they work in any kind of tourism while they were out here, or do anything fun? Or
So they came to the Duke game. They followed us to the Bahamas. So they ventured all the Bahamas and got to see, all that and the hotel and all that kind of stuff. So they loved it.
That's today's Spotlight on a Cat has been brought to you by O'Reilly Chevrolet. Get more with O'Reilly Chevrolet.
All right, that is Anthony Del Orso. Looking for him to continue his hot shooting. We'll talk a little bit about him coming up more later.
Want to take a guess what time it is in his hometown?
Let's see. It is Australia.
Melbourne.
Yeah, so I'm going to say it is actually tomorrow, is it? Or
It's tomorrow, yes, correct.
So 4:30 a.m.
10:30 a.m. on the 19th.
Wow, all right.
Is what time it is currently. That's why it takes 2 days for him to get back home.
I was like, 2.5 days, man. That's a lot.
And then when I think of Australia, right, we speaking of Australia, we got a guy down there named Bryce Cotton.
Yeah.
He's in the NBL down there, man. He's probably one of the best players that ever play in that league, man. He's been going on a tear of 40-point games down there, man. Just
That's what
really
he does.
Killing it, but
that's what he do.
Bryce Cotton from right over in the Tucson area, not Tucson area.
Didn't he
right
average
in
like
Tucson.
40 as a senior or something like that?
Yeah, he's been over there for a while, like you said, right?
He's been over there about at least
He got a lot of titles, I think, too, if I'm not
at
mistaken.
least about 4 of those, at least.
Yeah, absolutely.
He's one of the best players ever to play in that league.
There you go. Meridian Wealth Management, Arizona Game Day. Wildcats, Samford tonight at McKale Center. Tip-off coming up at 7 o'clock. TJ McConnell night going up into the Ring of Honor just one season after his teammate Ben Matherin also up in the Ring of Honor. We'll start to celebrate TJ as well as we go into hour number 2. We're going to chat with Corey Williams, who will be on the broadcast tonight, Arizona basketball alum. Along with Kelvin Yvonne and JW Madden, I'm David Kelly. You're listening to Wildcats Radio 1290.
Our window depot coverage of Arizona basketball is just getting started. This is Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day. Hour 1 of the pregame show is brought to you by Desert Diamond Casinos, First Chiropractic, Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care, Picture Rocks Cooling, Heating and Plumbing, Restaurant Supply Store, Royal GMC Buick and Cadillac, Royal Kia, Royal Jaguar Land Rover, the Polston Results Team with Keller Williams Southern Arizona, the Window Depot, and by Meridian Wealth Management. Wealth well managed, life well lived.
As Arizona's leading personal injury law firm for more than 35 years, Goldberg & Osborne agrees. Bear down, Arizona. With offices statewide, including Tucson and Sierra Vista, the Eagle gives you home field advantage. More than 2,200 five-star Google reviews prove Goldberg & Osborne has the playbook for any situation. So after an accident, let the attorneys voted best personal injury law firm 4 years in a row tackle that insurance company and get you the settlement you deserve. Goldberg & Osborne, 1-800-THE-EAGLE.
2025 is bringing the biggest change to air conditioning in decades. New EPA regulations mean AC costs could rise by up to 25%. If you've been thinking about replacing your old AC, now's the time. Rightway is offering zero interest financing and a free furnace when you replace your AC this month. Don't wait till next year when prices go up. Call Rightway today for your free no obligation estimate. Call 520-549-2697.
Driving the lane, dunking on the competition, and playing as a team. These are things we'll see this season watching our Wildcats play basketball. These happen to be the things you'll also find when you buy your next vehicle from O'Reilly Chevrolet. The only difference is at O'Reilly, nobody gets penalized for traveling. Heck, we actually encourage it. See us on Broadway next to Park Place Mall. Call 747-8000 or find new roads at O'Reilly.com, where you can experience our version of a steal. O'Reilly Chevrolet, more than a great price.
O'Reilly Chevrolet.
Experiencing the natural wonders comes easy at Rockin' K. Nestled at the base of the Rincon Mountain foothills, enjoy stunning mountain views up close every day. 6 model homes are now open to tour at Del Webb at Rockin' K. Here, life is about more than just beautiful homes. It's about the experiences waiting outside your front door at this new 55-plus active adult neighborhood. LiveRockingK.com. Designed by nature. proud U of A radio broadcast sponsor.
Day in and day out, we're inundated with commercials asking to review your portfolio or telling you to get a second opinion. This is Natalie Fernandez with Meridian Wealth Management, and I want to share the advice I give people every day. Talk to 3 different advisors at 3 different firms. It's important to understand their differences and find someone you can trust. I want Meridian to be one of your 3, and then you will decide who is best for you. To learn more, call us at 719-1433 today.
Advisory services provided by Meridian Wealth Management, a registered investment advisor.
JT Auto, where customers are family. Trust your vehicle to JT Auto professional and reliable automotive repair and maintenance services. JT Auto is conveniently located off Fort Lowell and Country Club. Open Monday through Friday. JT Auto is a full-service auto shop with satisfaction guaranteed, offering you the best in tires and wheels, auto repair, oil changes, computer diagnostics, suspension and brake service, and heating and AC. Bring your car to JT Auto, where customers are family. 623-7066. That's 623-7066.
Looking for unlimited gameplay all season long? Dave & Buster's is introducing the all-new Winter Season Pass. You can pick your perfect pass and play like a Dave & Buster's VIP with unlimited access to over 140 games and deals on sips and bites. Sign up now and take advantage of this incredible deal now through February 28th. Don't forget to stop in Monday through Friday from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. for lunch specials and grab the all-new Winter Season Pass. There's nowhere better to eat, drink, play, and watch than Dave & Buster's, the best place outside the stadium to see the games this football season.
As a homeowner, you've probably seen some pretty bad plumbing problems.
Yeah, I've seen a few.
We've seen them all.
All of them?
Ram's Plumbing kept entire buildings flowing. Businesses since 1983.
Wow, so whatever happens to my house...
We've seen it before, and we have the solution. Locally owned and operated, Ram Plumbing is Tucson's most trusted plumber. Our team of licensed professionals can fix anything your home can dish out. When your plumbing's in trouble, call Ram on the double. Online at bestplumbertucson.com.
Wildcat Nation, are you ready?
Krivas turnaround, gets it off, and it rolls in for 2. Oh my! KJ Lewis slams it home. Stolen away by Bradley. Caleb on a breakaway windmill jam.
Arizona basketball never sleeps.
Bear down, Cats. Our Window Depot coverage of U of A basketball continues. The Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Gameday pregame show is brought to you by Meridian Wealth Management. Wealth well managed, life well lived. We're getting closer to tip-off for today's Arizona basketball game. This is Wildcats Radio 1290. Let's take a look at the Right Way rundown and see what's coming up on our pregame show. Brought to you by Right Way Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing. Do things the right way.
All right, hour number 2 of the show. We're going to chat with Corey Williams here, Arizona basketball forward, 1996. We'll have your pest of the game. Who's going to be that bulldog who gets underneath the Wildcats' skin tonight? Brought to you by University Pest and Termite Control. It's TJ McConnell Ring of Honor night. We'll hear from TJ, get you a look at your scoreboard. 3 games on the Big 12 schedule tonight, all not of high relevance. 1 game in the top 25 involving a couple of ranked teams, as Michigan will try to hand Oklahoma their first loss of the year. Best bets, Arizona, a 19.5-point favorite tonight on the big board over at the Desert Diamond Casino Hotel. Let's talk to ESPN college basketball analyst Corey Williams.
It's time now to take you down the front row of the arena. A view from courtside is brought to you by Kaiser Garage Door and Gates. Kaiser, celebrating 25 years serving Southern Arizona.
Corey, this is your first Arizona broadcast of the season, if I'm not mistaken, correct?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Really excited to get back in McKale Center tonight.
There you go. There you go. Corey Williams joining us, Arizona Wildcats forward. All right, Corey, we've been talking about what happened at UCLA or at Phoenix on Saturday and the loss to UCLA. What was your takeaway after watching it?
Well, you know, there were some highs and some lows, obviously. The Arizona team that surged out to the 13-point lead, I think that's the team a lot of people wanted to see all year. So there was that high point, but then the inability to finish and close out the game definitely left a lot of Wildcat fans stunned, and a lot of people searching for answers. And, you know, when they take the court tonight, people are going to want to see more of that team that looked good in the second half against UCLA, because I think that's the best we've seen Arizona look all year. So now that we've seen that, the question is going to be about consistency. Can we see that Arizona team for the majority of the games the remainder of the season.
You know, Corey, one of the things that was my kind of top takeaway is yeah, you've got a Trey Townsend who's a grad senior who's played a lot of basketball. You've got a Henry Vasar who's again a big guy who's got a lot of talent. But neither one of those kids, and I wrote their names down a lot. I was writing down just kind of names and guys that were involved in that last 10-minute stretch. And I wrote those two names down probably the most. And the thing about it is as much as, Vasar is a junior and Trey's a senior, those are two guys that have not done it at this level in that type of atmosphere against a rival like UCLA. And you're asking guys that have never been in those situations to try to close out games late. And that's not an easy thing to do because those guys got to learn how to do that.
Yeah, and unfortunately, Arizona fans have to understand that what they're experiencing is going on nationwide. When you talk about roster turnover and chemistry, end of game, repetition, repetition removes doubt. And it applies to individuals and it also applies to teams. When guys go to war repeatedly over and over and practice and play together and pick up and over a couple of seasons, the end of game scenarios kind of play themselves out. There's a consistency, there's a rhythm that takes place over the final minutes of a game because guys have played alongside each other for sometimes 2 or 3 seasons. Well, those days are gone now. And it takes a long time for that kind of chemistry to develop. So closing out games, unless you have a flat out alpha male leader closer type guy, you're going to be subject to the kind of games that you see, the kind of plays that happen towards the end of games, what you saw in the UCLA game where you just really don't know what's going to happen. So it's not just Arizona. It's a lot of clubs struggling to figure out how do we close games, what roles do guys have, and you're going to see a lot of crazy finishes around college basketball landscape because, we're only, 6 or 7 weeks into this and teams are still trying to figure it out.
Corey, one of the things that I think makes it tough is that when you have a free-flowing type of offense, the ball doesn't necessarily go where you want it to go when you call a set play. So I think that makes it even more challenging as well.
No, I think you're 100% correct. And I think there needs to be some deliberate intention down the stretch. The ball has to be under specific guidelines, like what is our first option, what is our second option. I think when the final possession is at the whim of everybody's individual reads on a dribble handoff or what their instant decisions are, then, like you said, you never know what you're going to get. So, yeah, would I like to see a little more structure down the stretch? I think that's something that all coaches know. It's a double-edged sword because you don't want the kids looking over their shoulder asking, hey, what do I do? What do I do? But you do want your best option to make themselves available down the stretch. So you want free play and creativity and athleticism, but at the same time, you want the ball in your best player's hands, giving you your best option down the stretch as well. So it's easy to criticize and critique, but you're 100% right. You want some structure down the stretch. You want your best opportunity.
Corey Williams joining us. He is your view from courtside for tonight, brought to you by Kaiser Garage Door and Gates. Kaiser serving Arizona for more than 25 years. Corey will be on the broadcast tonight, ESPN Plus, along with Darren Sutton. Obviously, Corey, this has been a slow start to the season for Caleb Love. We've kind of been talking at length about how to get him more involved in the offense. One of the things I saw just when I went back and I watched the last 10 minutes was I saw him standing around a lot and not necessarily moving. And one of the things we talked about post-game was that they've got to make it more easy for him. Maybe this goes back to what you were just talking about, more structure in terms of the scheme to make it easier for not just the offensive whole, but him as well. But does he also have to be a part of that? Does he have to move more than we're seeing him at the end of these games versus just, or is that just the way this is set up that you're going to put Trey Townsend in one corner and Caleb Love in another corner and then allow Jaden Bradley to try to figure out how to get one of those two guys the ball for a shot?
Well, I think you've got to look at it from a coaching perspective. When you play Arizona, you've got to understand that Tommy Lloyd teams score almost 80 to 90 points a game. So every coach immediately wants to slow the game down and reduce the amount of possessions. So if you reduce the amount of possessions, Caleb Love is a volume shooter. So let's say you can try to take Arizona from 90 points and you want to get them down below 70 points. 60 points would be ideal. Now that you've reduced the amount of possessions, you've neutralized the volume shooter like Caleb Love. And when Caleb Love is missing shots, if he goes from 18 shot attempts down to 10 and he's not shooting well, you've pretty much effectively taken him out of the game. He only had 10 shot attempts against UCLA, and that score was in the 50s.
Yeah.
So UCLA took an Arizona team that's capable of scoring 90 points and held them to 55. So, or actually, I don't know if it was 55, but they held them down to 54.
Yeah.
So every team Arizona plays is going to try to slow this game down and muck it up. And you take a volume shooter like Caleb Love and you weight his shots now. Now he can't just chuck up 6 or 7 or 9 or 10 threes. He has to be more effective and efficient. And if he's in a shooting slump, and then he tends to hesitate a little bit more. So first of all, slow Arizona down, limit the number of attempts. Now, in previous years, on previous teams, these teams were racing up and down the floor. There were shots galore. Caleb could chuck up 8 or 9 threes and go 4 for 8, 3 for 9, and it really didn't matter. But in this Arizona team, the half-court game, it's a different tempo. When he misses, it seems like it's kind of sticking with him, and he's dropping his head a little bit, and he's really worried about missing shots because there's not so many of them to be had. And I think that's the defensive strategy that a lot of coaches are trying to instill against this Arizona team. Arizona's got to find a way to increase the tempo, increase the amount of possessions, increase the points, increase the volume, and then you'll see Caleb Love scoring 20 points, knocking down 4 or 5 threes a game when there's more shots to be had.
Hey, Corey, one of the things that I, been watching him, Caleb, is what do you think about him getting some back doors, getting some easier shots? I mean, I understand the 3-ball. I mean, you got to get a few of those things up to realize what your actual average is for a game. But what about getting some easier shots? What do you think about that?
No, I think you're hitting the nail on the head. At the end of the day, you're a hooper. And I don't care if it's free throws, offensive rebounds, tip-ins, layups, threes. You have to be effective. You can be just as effective getting a steal or taking a charge as hitting a three. So you have to have an impact on the game. Playing winning basketball, being a leader can take various roles. So opening your mind to the point of, I'm going to go out here and I'm going to have an impact on this game, whether it's layups, threes, free throws, it doesn't matter. I'm going to be a dominant factor tonight. That has to be the mindset. And if the 3-ball opens up and presents itself, then yeah, I'm going to take that too. But we talked about this before. Caleb Love is going to be on everyone's scouting report. There's no one, he's not sneaking up on anyone. Everyone knows he's a 3-point shooter. You've got to be the worst coach in the world if you're going to sit back and watch the Caleb Love show from the 3-point line. Like, you've got to see that coming. So who's going to let Caleb Love shoot threes? No one is going to. That's item number 1 on the scouting report when you play Arizona. So Caleb's got to understand he's going to see this defense all season long. So he has to go to option 2, 3, and 4. And, guess what? Once I beat you back door a couple of times, once I get a couple of curl moves, once I hit a couple of floaters, then the 3-ball is going to open up. So, yeah, he's going to have to go away from the 3, pretend it doesn't even exist, so he can come back to the 3 later in the game.
Corey Williams joining us, ESPN broadcaster, Arizona Wildcats forward, class of 1996. It is your view from courtside, brought to you by Kaiser Garage Door and Gates. Kaiser serving Arizona for more than 25 years. Corey, I mean, in terms of the defensive side of this now, and now that you don't have Mo Krivas in there, what's going to be important about this rotation now and how they defend the post? Because we saw, obviously, that was an issue against UCLA when they just kept feeding it in there to Tyler Bilodeau, and he just basically took young Henry Vasar to school.
Well, yeah, Arizona's got to have a defensive presence in the paint. It's going to have to be, a team effort. Toby's going to have to play in the paint. And so is Vasar. He's going to have to step up defensively. I don't know that Samford presents a huge threat in the paint. They're more of a three-point shooting team. But the key for this game with Arizona will be the paint. Can they establish a paint presence? Can they dominate on the glass, getting second and third efforts, and build their lead on the interior? And I know I may catch some flack from this, but I think the perimeter may end up being a wash tonight. Samford is no slouch. They shoot the ball really well. I think the telltale of this game will be the paint. I think Arizona can dominate the paint. I think they can definitely build a lead and pull away by playing inside out. So hopefully Arizona sticks to the script. They beat them up down low, and this game is over before it starts.
Obviously, got Corey with the dissolution of the Pac-12 conference and the Pac-12 network. How has that kind of changed your schedule now as a broadcaster? Are you seeing other leagues? Are you in certain places with your work with ESPN? Are you just working with them primarily, or are there other opportunities out there now?
Well, the dissolving of the Pac-12 has turned me into a beggar. I call the ESPN offices and I beg and I plead, don't send me to Lubbock, Texas. Don't send me to Manhattan, Kansas. Don't send me to Stillwater, Oklahoma. Please, I'm used to Seattle. I'm used to the Bay. I'm used to Los Angeles. Even Salt Lake City and Boulder seem nice compared to some of these Big 12 cities. I am so humble right now, Dave. You should see the emails I send off to the bosses at ESPN. I'm begging all the time. I'll take anything on the West Coast, sunshine. I'm very humble these days. I'm very, very humble. I'll take whatever I can get. Big West, anything in California. Just keep me on the West Coast. Don't send me to the Big 12. No, but seriously, there's some great Big 12 basketball. I mean, Iowa State is great. Cincinnati's tough. West Virginia, Oklahoma. Kansas is great this year. There's going to be some great matchups. And, even if you got to fly in, rent a car, and take a bus and ride a donkey, it doesn't matter how you get to these cities. You got to go do these games. So I'm looking forward to it.
So who's the best player you've seen that nobody's talking about?
Man, best player that I've only done 3 games, so that's a tall order right now. I'd have to hold on to that one. I haven't seen much basketball. This will be my 4th one tonight. But you know what? They're talking about him, but I'm going to tell you because he's going to be a hell of a pro. Peja Stojakovic's son up at Cal.
Yeah.
Man, that boy is nice. He is nice.
Yeah, we saw him last year. We haven't had a chance to obviously see him this year, but.
Well, here's the thing. He transferred from Stanford to Cal.
Yeah.
Because the coach Madsen at Cal told him, yo, you got the keys to the car. You can do your thing. So now he's playing completely different than he played at Stanford, where he can go one-on-one. He can create off the dribble. He's got the green light. And he doesn't abuse it. He just plays an NBA style of game, and you can tell he's going to be a great player at the next level.
That's something for sure. Good to see that that opportunity for him, for Andres, is working out over there across the street in the Bay at California. Corey, have a great call tonight. We look forward to chatting with you again down the road.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me on, guys.
We hope you enjoyed your view from courtside. It was brought to you by Kaiser Garage Door and Gates. Kaiser, celebrating 25 years serving Southern Arizona.
All right, that is Corey Williams, Arizona Wildcats basketball class of 1996. It is Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day, getting you set for the Wildcats and the Stanford Cardinal tonight. Much more coming up for you straight ahead. Along with Kelvin Efon and J.W. Madden, I'm David Kelly. You're listening to Wildcats Radio 1290.
Our Window Depot coverage of Arizona basketball is getting you closer to tip-off. This is Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day. Hour 2 of the pregame show is brought to you by Dave & Buster's Tucson, Dorado Rock, Goodfellas AC, Humane Society of Southern Arizona, Lexus of Tucson, Recon Auto Detail, Right Way Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing, Rocking KA Master Plan Community designed by nature, University Termite and Pest Control, and by Meridian Wealth Management. Wealth well managed, life well lived.
The garage is more than a place to park your car. It holds prized possessions, and for most, it's a bustling entryway to the home. That's why LiftMaster designed the first ever opener with a built-in wide-angle camera and two-way audio, so you can see what matters and secure what's inside. Ensure your family and prized possessions are secure with a reliable garage door opener that's built to last and powered by MyQ for smartphone control. The team at Kaiser Garage Doors and Gates are your locally owned LiftMaster professionals. Visit kaisergarage.com to learn more.
Honey, our yard's full of weeds. Looks like a jungle and the neighbors are complaining.
I know. I'm trying to get rid of them, but the product I'm using, it doesn't work. Oh. Not to mention, I don't have the time.
But it's not just weeds.
It's not?
No, I'm seeing ants.
Ants?
Yeah, and spiders.
Ooh, spiders.
I know, and I think I saw a scorpion.
No way.
Yes way, and there's a pack rat in our garage.
Ew. Okay, I'll call University Termite and Pest Control today. We'll get rid of all of them.
Okay, honey, thank you.
University Termite and Pest Control, locally owned. Find them online at bepestfree.com.
Does it feel like the price of everything is going up, up, up? We can't control the price of gas or groceries, but at Royal Buick GMC, we never add market adjustments, even while other dealers add fees because inventory is limited. At Royal Buick GMC, you can rest assured you won't pay market adjustments, and we stand by our transparent online pricing. Royal Buick GMC, the dealership that's different. OAC plus tax, title, license, dealer installed options, and $529 doc fee. Royal Buick GMC, in the Auto Mall and at RoyalTucson.com.
With cooler weather on the way, many of us are turning on our furnaces for the first time this season. We hope everything runs smoothly, but if you notice strange noises, frequent cycling, or no heat at all, give Rightway a call. Right now we're offering a complete system tune-up for just $65, plus a free carbon monoxide test for your peace of mind. Don't wait till it's too late. Call Rightway, 520-549-1914 to schedule your $65 complete system tune-up.
Cantina nachos, strawberry watermelon margaritas, a few zombie kills, and all your favorite sports teams live? When your day calls for some winning, it's time for Dave & Buster's, where you can eat, drink, play, and watch all the sports you want. They've got massive HD TVs, hundreds of the hottest new games, a chef-crafted menu, and an incredible list of beers, wines, and cocktails. So remember, if your day calls for a little victory, a little triumph, a little win, it's probably calling for Dave & Buster's.
What up, Tucson? This is Joseph Blair, former Wildcat and assistant coach of the Washington Wizards. When I came to play basketball at the U of A in the 90s, the Tucson community became and has always remained a special part of my life. And this is why I proudly joined the Meridian Wealth Management Tucson Advisory Business Council. If you have financial questions or concerns, please be sure and call my friends Natalie or Ruben Fernandez at 719-1433 or visit online at Meridian Wealth LLC. And as always, bear down, Tucson.
Advisory services provided by Meridian Wealth Management, a registered investment advisor.
Discover Rocking K, a community designed by nature, built for you. Embrace the beauty of the Rincon Mountains' high desert foothills. Explore natural open space, a network of connecting trails, and a community park. Bordering Saguaro National Park, Rocking K is conveniently located to our region's major employers and nationally recognized Vail School District. Tour 10 model homes by 4 award-winning builders and discover why more people are calling Rocking K home. LiveRockingK.com. Proud sponsor of the U of A radio broadcast.
Think of waking up with energy, standing tall and feeling free. Think First Chiropractic, good health is to enjoy.
For over 30 years, Tucson has been putting its trust in First Chiropractic for auto and on-the-job injuries. They're locally owned and a proud sponsor of the U of A radio broadcasts. So if you've been injured, make the right choice first.
First Chiropractic, good health is to enjoy.
Our Window Depot coverage of U of A basketball continues. This is the Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day pregame show on Wildcats Radio 1290. Now back to your hosts, David Kelly, the captain Kelvin Ifan, and J.W. Madden.
Townsend setting a soft screen. Bradley around it, changes hands, drives into the lane, throw it underneath. A wide open Carter Bryant, slam it home.
Jaden Bradley is the man who forced that action, drew multiple Bruin defenders, found a cutter.
Yeah, Jaden Bradley did it all in the game on Saturday, all but helped the Wildcats get a W out of that one. 12 points, 7 rebounds, 6 assists. He had a career-high 5 steals in the game. Bradley is 11th in the country, averaging almost 3 steals, just under 3 steals per ball game. And in that second half, man, he got aggressive, or at least the early portion of that second half when the Wildcats built that 13-point lead. He got aggressive to the basket, getting to the rim on a number of those occasions. Jaden on his mindset as a point guard.
Taking what the defense gives me, as a point guard, I love getting my teammates involved and I'm seeing them go. But, if the defense is, forcing me, daring me to shoot, I'll do that too.
And, guys, I want to go back to what we talked about on Sunday, and we talked about him maybe needing to try to get Caleb more involved. And after I went back and I watched it, I didn't necessarily – I'm trying to watch it and look for instances where I thought that he could have done that. And I didn't necessarily see that many of those instances. I remember there was one that stood out to me in the first half where he drove, got the double team to him, kicked it to Caleb in the corner, and Caleb didn't make the three. But again, and I'll go back to what I was saying with Corey. I'm looking at this. I'm looking at the offense, and I just don't see Caleb moving enough to even, I see other guys, maybe making some cuts and try to get themselves open off of things. But I guess my question is then to you guys is how much of that is on Caleb to try to get himself available more for this offense?
Well, from what I see, J-Dub, that's kind of how the offense is ran, right, J-Dub?
Yeah.
Like you kind of stand until the ball they do the handoff, and then they come off the pick and roll screen. And the two guys are standing weak side. Maybe they can interchange over there, maybe. But it's that's why a lot of times you hear me talking about the back door. You almost have to call it because guys are going to be in the way, especially with all those 7-footers. The back door is not going to really work real good with those 7-footers back in the lane. But if you raise them up to the elbow and then you work that play, off a horn set where basically you got the bigs on top of the key or up at least to the elbows, that opens up opportunities for back doors. But I think it's the offense, J-Dub, when I look at it, because when you really think about it, the only guy that I see cutting sometimes, and that's not often, is KJ Lewis. Who else cuts?
Yeah, the issue here, the easiest way, guys, to think about the flow motion offense is it's a read and react offense. So basically what that means is the ball handlers maybe got a high pick and roll top of the key. The other guys on the court, Kelvin, are reading what the defense is doing, and they're either flaring to the corner, they're cutting to the basket, they're making their read and their decision. Now, what was Corey's big point here? Across the nation, guys, all these transfers are leading to chemistry issues, players not really knowing each other's tendencies and that kind of thing. Kelvin just nailed it. Caleb is, to answer your question, DK, it's 100% on Caleb Love because he's a 23-year-old fifth-year senior scoring machine. He needs to impact the game because he's been there, done that, and knows how to do it. The issue is some of those guys who are newer to the flow offense might be taking those cuts away, Kelvin. So, for instance, in a time when Caleb's the one who's seeing extra defensive attention, he's the one who's got, one guy on him running behind him and shadowing him when he doesn't have the ball, two guys running at him when he does have the ball. When he does have lanes, Kelvin, when that defense is over aggressive and in the lane, that's when he needs to go back door. But when he should go back door, Kelvin, that's when those guys really need to understand that that's his cut. Right. And not to fill that space in the lane, and then Caleb can make that cut. So I think what it really is they're reading and hesitating on those reads and reacting. The reacting part, there's a hesitation there, Kelvin, where it doesn't flow as smoothly, and therefore it doesn't look as clean.
And I want to get back to Bradley finding Love. I just feel like, as a point guard, you'll see a point guard, he'll drive the opposite side. Just say Caleb is on the left. Mm-hmm. You'll drive to the right because Caleb Mann's supposed to help in and help down to help rebound or to go in and help on a big because you're driving to pull a guy, right? And so now that's the turn. Now I go up under the basket and I kick it out to him over on the opposite side. Now he can play off of closeouts. So there's different ways as a point guard that you can get your guy the ball and try to get him some shots. And that's what I was talking about. You go back, I know it's a little wild for people, but you go back and watch Damon and Khalid play. They played off each other. Yeah. Damon made sure he found Khalid, and Khalid the same with him. Mm-hmm. And so that's my only thing. He's running the offense. He's doing what is expected of him of the offense. But sometimes, again, when you see your guy struggling, I feel like you have to figure out a way to get him some easy looks. And to me, a lot of it is going to him with the handoffs to maybe get a switch from Bradley's man to his man, because Caleb has the best defender on him. So you either use Caleb as a screener, right, to go screen for the big man, right? You get him to screen, now you got to switch with a smaller guy. So there's just different ways what you have to do to try to free him up. But to me, in this offense, there's not a lot of backdoor cutting. That's why we can name only a few guys who did it, right? Larson, I'm going to name the guys that I know that did it. Larson, Mathurin, Terry.
Yeah. And Larson's a name we haven't really brought up much this year, but that's that glue guy, to be able to take care of all those little, the deficiencies within that flow offense. I think if all you got to do is go watch, 10 minutes of Golden State Warriors highlights from their title runs, because that's an offense where the guys are just finding open space within that flow, and that's really the name of the game. The defense can't be everywhere at once. So if it feels like the defensive pressure is intense, Kelvin, that just means that those guys are running. There's the spacing, which is a word you heard Coach Lloyd talk about this week. Spacing really needs to be on point because there is open areas within those defensive sets, Kelvin. Those guys just aren't finding the open space.
And I'll just add one thing to that. The only difference is they're looking for carry. They're looking for him. So they're running that offense, but when everybody gets the ball, they look for carry first before they start looking for their own thing. And that's totally not happening right now with the Wildcats. And I kind of understand he's struggling a little bit. And what happens when you're struggling with basically new guys, new starters on the floor, KJ Lewis, Bradley, they started doing it themselves. They started kind of going for it themselves and not necessarily trying to get him going, which is what the offense says. But a lot of time when you have a great guy like that, to me, you're hurting the team when you don't figure out a way to get them going.
All right, before we hear from Tommy Lloyd again, let's pause 10 seconds for station identification. This is Arizona Game Day, Meridian Wealth Management, Arizona Game Day on Wildcats Radio 1290.
KCUB Tucson, a Cumulus media station. We have the Arizona Wildcats covered on game day like no one else. We are Wildcats Radio 1290.
All right, Tommy Lloyd this week did say that, yes, we run a flow offense, but there is structure to our flow offense.
It's not freelancing like you think. I mean, there's definitely concepts we play within, but there needs to be, when we're doing it right, there's a randomness to it that maybe to the eye, but there's structure from within. And it's the same concepts, we've drilled for years, but we just got to keep hammering. We got to keep hammering, and part of it is just trusting that if you get the ball out of your hands and that something good's going to happen for someone else, or it's going to come back to you. And we just got to have a little more trust in the game moments of that, and we're working for it.
And I guess that's one of the reasons why he's constantly saying ball movement is so critical for our offense. We've got to move the ball more in order for this offense to look the way and to play the way we want it to play.
Yeah, because when you're moving the ball, it makes it tough for the defense to load up and help, and so you want guys that understand. The more you move it, the defenses are designed to double team and as I said before, help. So you keep moving the ball until you get a easy shot, because the defense a lot of time don't want to make those multiple efforts. Right? Everybody helps the first time, maybe even the second time, but that third and fourth time, guys aren't playing as good as defense on that possession.
What it really is and that's what in my mind, guys, is shooting, Kelvin, is the name of the game these days. So what you're talking about is recovering out to shooters when you get a scramble situation in a defensive possession. Those guys might recover out to two shooters within a defensive possession, Kelvin. Right. But you keep that ball moving and moving and moving, and by that third or fourth recovery, closing out to a shooter, that's going to be an opener look if it's by the fourth or fifth pass within that flow of the offense, as opposed to the second time a guy touches the ball.
All right, we want to hear your thoughts on what you've seen from this offense. You can text us at 520-848-1290, 520-848-1290. You can also give us a call if you'd like. We have some opportunity here in the next segment or two maybe to take a call or two. Fred Scheib, our guy from New Jersey, checks in on the text groove, says, can't change anything if we win, can't fall off a cliff if we lose. There are a few Power 5 conference teams with losing records and no Power Conference wins. ACC, Virginia Tech, Georgia Tech, Miami, Big East, Seton Hall, Big Ten and SEC, none with losing records. So Cats are in worst 5 big schools in the country. Better hurry. get Big 12 win before those 4 get conference wins, or Arizona would be the worst big school overall in the country.
That's
right
not
now.
how any of that works, though, because those schedules aren't all created equal.
You're
So
right.
the 5 teams Arizona lost to are not the same 5 teams that those other teams have beaten. So we'll just put it that way.
Right now, at the bottom in a group of 5, bottom 6 to 7%, he says, have Cats ever been this bad of record this point since joining the Pac-10, Pac-12? Well, again, we mentioned they were at 3-4 at one point under Sean Miller a few years ago as well. Thanks, as always, to Fred for chiming in. Caleb Love talks about how he also needs to be better at reading defenses and how they are playing him to assist in getting his offense going.
A lot of teams have been, face guarding me, top blocking me. My ball screens kind of trapping the ball or, hedging a little bit. And so I got to, adjust. And, I got to master being guarded like that because it's not going to change. So, just moving a lot more and just knowing going into every game that, I'm going to be guarded like that. So let me make it tough on them by moving. And, if you're going to guard me like this, you're going to have to run. You're going to have to be conditioned and things like that. And that not only helps, myself, but it helps the team because, me being my movement or what they call shooting gravity, that takes away another defender or I set screens and things like that takes away 2 defenders and just cause indecision. And so just doing that, I think that helps the team and it helps me as well.
We saw you be successful on a number of the pick and roll plays. Do you think there'll be more opportunity for those as you guys move forward?
Oh yeah, for sure. Like I said, I just got to master being guarded how I'm being guarded. A lot of teams like to throw different, defenses at me, different coverages, and so, just figuring that out. Going into games where first 5 possessions, my first ball, five bar screens. Okay, I know how to guard me. So now let me make the right read or be a little bit more patient coming off those ball screens and letting the play develop.
Caleb, where are you at academically? I'm curious, your 5th year. Are you taking some independent grad
Yeah, I got
stuff?
Spanish. I'm taking Spanish and 2 electives. Mm-hmm.
So are you finished with them
Yeah,
now?
I got to take a Spanish final on Monday.
Why Spanish? I'm just curious.
I got to take it to graduate. Yeah.
Do you have choices or is there a reason why?
Nah, it was just taking the language. Yeah.
Or anything like that?
Nah, but he's helping me though. Conrad helps me for sure. Interdisciplinary studies.
So you timed it out so you can get that in May, or is that what you're
shooting
for?
I'll graduate in May. Mm-hmm.
Conrad giving the assist there on little Spanish lessons as well. So I want to go back to what he just said there to something that that we were talking about at the top in terms of guys having not been in situations before. And do you all remember him being defended? How he's being defended this year? Was he defended like this last year? Do you remember much? And is this something new he's dealing with this year? The way teams are playing him.
No, it isn't. I think his teammates are new. I think the guys on the floor are
right.
new, and getting them to understand the position and trying to work them in. You got a Walker, and the worst thing is you got 2 new bigs on the inside. So you got a Walker and Townsend on the inside there, and so not having that chemistry with those guys, and you're still trying to figure out KJ Lewis and Bradley, with both of them being non-shooters. Right, makes it even tougher. So
there it is.
You got different guys on the floor with you.
Yeah, the shooting is really the biggest issue. 30% is a team, guys. So when you talk about what they're throwing at Caleb, guys, it doesn't matter if it's Caleb or Jaden Bradley or any of the guys who can score from mid-range and take the ball off the dribble and get to the hoop. Really, you can guard those guys completely different, Kelvin, if the spot-up dudes are not knocking shots down. And so that's what we're seeing right now is there's a disrespect to Arizona's outside shooting ability. And so Caleb is seeing all kinds of crazy extra defensive attention on those drives, especially shading over because they're not worried about the open shooters knocking shots down.
All right. That is a little bit of what is going on right now with this Arizona Wildcats offense.
Of flow offense, Kelvin, I got to ask you since we're on the subject, have you watched the Memphis Grizzlies play this year?
Yes.
5 out, no screens. They're running 5 out with no screens. So they don't bring a screener up to the ball handler.
Right.
Those guys run away from the ball handler because it's too congested.
Right.
So the philosophy being like no screens ever on the ball handler. It's just drive and kick and replace. And they're doing this whirlwind thing where they wheel. Where it's
Right.
like the guys replace each other. Guy cuts under the basket,
Like a
baseline
three-man
to
weave.
baseline. They just replace each other. And there is no screens. It's the craziest thing with Ja and those guys, JJ, excuse me. I've been watching some highlights and some breakdowns of that style of offense. It's just crazy to me in this day and age with all those shooters and ball handlers and everybody's positionless. Running a screenless 5-out offense is crazy.
Well, a lot of times, guys, I myself, as a guard, I hated screens because I knew the other team was going to trap me. So I'd rather get that guy away and just let me attack. I felt like I can get my guy anytime I wanted to, basically, because a lot of times you get a screen because you can't get by your guy, and sometimes it create offense for the big. But I used to like to just get around my guy and get into the lane and force the big to come to me so I can drop it off to our big to get the easier shot. But, it's just different stroke for different folks. I just think if you have more guys that can get where they want to go off the dribble, the last thing you want to do is bring a double up.
All right, Meridian Wealth Management, Arizona game day. Wildcats getting set to take on Samford tonight. TJ McConnell night at the McKale Center. He'll be raised into the Ring of Honor. We'll have more on that straight ahead, along with Kelvin Ifan and JW Madden. I'm David Kelly. You're listening to Wildcats Radio 1290.
Make the right choice for your home when it comes to windows and doors. For more than 20 years, the Window Depot has provided the best price and biggest inventory on in-stock windows and doors. The Window Depot is open to the public, so whether you're a homeowner or a contractor, you can shop the enormous warehouse. Browse the shelves with over 1,000 vinyl windows, interior and patio doors, and skylights in several varieties and sizes available to go home today. Shop thewindowdepot.com or find a location near you. The Window Depot. Best price, biggest inventory.
Sean Furrier for Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care. Our Black Friday week of savings has been extended into December. Right now, every set of tires is on sale and you can stack on manufacturer's rebates for even more savings, up to $180 more. We've also got popular maintenance services at up to 50% off to get you road trip ready for all your holiday travel. Jack Furrier's 14 area locations are ready to help. So call, stop by, or visit us online at jackfurriers.com. Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care. Since 1960, we're here to get you there.
As Arizona's leading personal injury law firm for more than 35 years, Goldberg & Osborne agrees. Bear down, Arizona. With offices statewide, including Tucson and Sierra Vista, the Eagle gives you home field advantage. More than 2,200 5-star Google reviews prove Goldberg & Osborne has the playbook for any situation. So after an accident, let the attorneys voted best personal injury law firm 4 years in a row tackle that insurance company and get you the settlement you deserve. Goldberg & Osborne, 1-800-THE-EAGLE.
Did you know collecting sports cards is one of the fastest growing hobbies around? Whether you're looking to start or expand your collection, Showtime Cards is your ultimate destination. As one of the leading card shops in the country, they've been serving our community for over 25 years with the best in sports cards and trading card games. From rare finds to the latest releases, Showtime Cards has it all. Check them out at ShowtimeCards.com or visit them today at 5801 East Speedway. And discover why collectors everywhere trust Showtime Cards for their passion.
Does it feel like the price of everything is going up, up, up? We can't control the price of gas or groceries, but at Royal Buick GMC, we never add market adjustments, even while other dealers add fees because inventory is limited. At Royal Buick GMC, you can rest assured you won't pay market adjustments, and we stand by our transparent online pricing. Royal Buick GMC, the dealership that's different. OAC plus tax, title, license, dealer installed options, and $529 doc fee. Royal Buick GMC, in the Auto Mall and at RoyalTucson.com.
Experiencing the natural wonders comes easy at Rockin' K. Nestled at the base of the Rincon Mountain foothills, enjoy stunning mountain views up close every day. Visit Lennar's 2 communities in Rockin' K, with home savings up to $25,000 and limited time interest rate and closing cost incentives on select move-in ready homes. LiveRockingK.com. Designed by nature. Proud U of A radio broadcast sponsor.
Do you trust those in charge of your financial future?
Trust is founded on 3 core principles: competence, honesty, and benevolence. Those making decisions about your financial future should always place your best interest ahead of their own. I'm Natalie Fernandez-Lee, and at Meridian Wealth Management, fostering trusted relationships with our clients is our top priority. Call us at 719-1433 or visit meridianwealthllc.com to learn more today.
Advisory services provided by Meridian Wealth Management, a registered investment advisor.
If you're suffering from back pain and your physician is giving you a back brace or a pain pill or an injection and not explain the process of what you have and how to rehabilitate yourself, then there might be something missing. I'm Tom Corey. I'm a physiatrist here at Desert Sky Spine and Pain. If you're looking to find the root cause of your pain, any pain that's limiting your function, limiting the things that you want to do in life, call us at 520-229-2080 or find us on the web at desertskymedicine.com.
Our Window Depot coverage of U of A basketball continues. This is the Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day pregame show on Wildcats Radio 1290. Now back to your hosts, David Kelly, the captain Kelvin Ifan, and J.W. Madden.
And here's a steal. TJ McConnell will race the other way and lay it in.
That's a good start defensively.
Top of the key. TJ will drive right all the way to the bucket, off the glass and good. TJ working his way around to Tarzuski pick. Bounce underneath Jefferson. Jam it home.
I think TJ McConnell might have been right telling Sean Miller that Daquan Cook can't guard him.
And the ball to McConnell. Backdoor cut. There's Nick Johnson for the lane.
That's good offense.
UNLV with the rebound. And the outlet is stolen by McConnell to the bucket, and it's good.
McConnell is going to become known for that.
Davis stops elbow, has it knocked away, goes back to save the ball, but TJ McConnell diving for the ball, picks it up, throw it ahead to York. Gabe will drive the other way, slam it down.
Credit TJ McConnell. That dive, Brian, would have made Willie Mays happy or Johnny Bench.
Woo! TJ McConnell lighting it up during his 2-year playing career, 3 years total here. One is a walk-on. Think about that for a minute. Guy transferred here and sat out for a year before he actually got a chance to play for those 2 years.
Yeah, you mentioned Jaden Bradley being, 9th in the country in steals. He was number 1 at Duquesne as a freshman, TJ, in the nation as steals. So it's not as if he wasn't productive in his freshman year either.
Go ahead.
No, and I was thinking that was back when you had to sit out a year, right?
Yeah.
When you transferred, right? Yeah.
Exactly. Had to. TJ McConnell will be going into the Ring of Honor. He made an Instagram post about it yesterday.
Hey, Wildcat fans. It's beyond special to get inducted into the Ring of Honor alongside all the great players that helped build this program into what it is today. I wouldn't be where I'm at without this place. Can't wait to see you guys on the 18th in Bear Down.
TJ McConnell and the Pacers are coming into town. The entire team will be there tonight, just like they were for Ben Mathurin. Before we hear from TJ's teammates on him, let's hear from TJ again on basically just how his game has evolved as a player in the National Basketball Association.
You're like in the lane, basically. Like you're jumping and squaring in the air more this year. Is that new? Is that something you worked on? Is that something you had in your game before, or it's just become more necessary, or basically is that a move you feel like you got?
You've seen me do that?
I've seen, but like you kind of like. Not exactly.
Yeah.
There seems to be more of a twist in it this year. Am I wrong about that?
I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay. All right.
But if that's what I'm doing and it's working out, that's great. I kind of just try to react on the fly to stuff, what I see, and just try to get in the paint and shoot when I'm open.
It's funny, guys, because a lot of NBA guys add to their bag, as time passes. 10 years in the NBA. I think TJ's more just perfected his bag he's had for a long time, because Kelvin, we saw him drive, especially baseline, but we saw him with that little 5 to 7 foot, 2 foot hard jumping jump shot from about 5 to 7 feet, almost in the paint, but right around the rim. We've seen him do that. He's living there in the NBA. That 30-point game he had a couple weeks back, he must have had 5 or 6 of those right at the rim. He's really perfected that.
And I'm not surprised. He's smart. He's not doing what everybody else is doing, just trying to shoot threes. He understands that, guess what? Nobody can guard the mid-range, DK, because no team actually shoots the mid range. So guess what TJ does? Yeah. He gets to the mid range, and also as a guard, you have to go touch the paint to get opportunities to find your guys. So he said it there. You get to that paint, and a lot of time with a guy like him, when he gets to that paint, DK, people know he's trying to pass, so they guard their guys, and all is open is that little sweet mid range floater, teardrop, pull-up jumper, and he's perfected it. He always had that.
It's great. If you get a chance to watch a Pacer game, what you're going to see is a lot of 21, 22-year-old elite world-class athletes, Kelvin, shaking their head and looking at the ground when TJ's squirting past them and just finding a way to get past them because he does it consistently. We heard that quote from him last year, DK, where his fitness and his endurance is really what he puts all his time and effort into as his number one skill, is just going all the time. And these games recently, Tyrese Halliburton, if you haven't been paying attention, led the NBA in assists last year, has really struggled a bit to start the season this year. But when TJ gets in there, I mean, it's just you talk about change of pace, Kelvin, and a completely different guy. You're completely right. I mean, he's always left open out there. Remember the times that when he was in a Wildcat uniform, they would sag off him like coverage. 5 feet, drop coverage on TJ because he wouldn't even take that shot out there. He'll take the occasional three, but he's always trying to get 2 feet in the paint.
Sean Miller apparently shared a story this week on when the senior year for McConnell, which was the freshman year for Stanley Johnson, and how Stanley apparently wasn't handling his business early on, and TJ had to let him know about it. Sean Miller said that TJ said to Stanley, "You're not the only one that's here to accomplish things. You're not the only one that cares about what you're going to do. We all care. And you're basically now in the way of us accomplishing these things that we all want to accomplish. You're not the solution. You're actually part of the problem. And quite frankly, I'm sick and tired of it." And apparently Joe Pasternak, who was also a coach at that time, added to that TJ also said to Stanley, "You're not going to ruin my senior year." And at one point, it got to the point where apparently TJ hurled a basketball at Stanley Johnson to get him to understand, and this was early in the season, to get him to understand that the strong habits that it takes to win in March have to begin being built in November and December.
You know what that is, Kelvin? That's a coach's son since he was 5 years old being drilled that discipline, get in the gym first, leave last, that whole thing. That's TJ lives that. That's who TJ is. And
I bet as a leader that TJ was, I bet he absolutely hate that they brought that out in public and said that.
Sure.
That's the stuff that goes on in our locker rooms.
It was a teaching moment for the young freshman, right?
Yeah, when I heard it, I was like, whoa, like, you let that. I mean, it explains how competitive he was, and he's a leader for 100, and we saw it on the court. Trust. But it just sounded a little weird. And listen, I'm like, what? He said that? I mean, but I totally understand. You're talking about a grown man, and at that time, Stanley Johnson was just a young pup coming out of Mater Dei.
Yep.
Here, let's hear from the Pacers on. Did we hear from the Pacers?
Not yet.
No, let's hear from the Pacers on TJ.
I mean, you gotta love TJ and what he does. I think that he can come in and change games. That's what he does. Picks the game up defensively and impacts winning. And I think that's what you gotta love about TJ.
That's my guy right there. We both came in the same exact year. He is like just that floor general out there, and one of those leaders, and one of those guys that you hate to play against, but you're glad like he's on your team.
TJ's everything that you make up with tough. I respect him a lot. The way he goes about his life and his journey about basketball, the way he had to grind to get here. We all know TJ's story.
TJ brings energy, but also, toughness. He's gonna be the one, on the floor all the time, and he's a great teammate as well.
67-9 in the 2 seasons that he played at the University of Arizona. 2 Pac-12 regular season titles, 2 Elite Eights. Everybody remembers he kissed the floor on Senior Day. We'll hear of that coming up a little bit later for you as well before we get out of here. You also remember him coming off the floor that lost, I believe they lost to Xavier his senior year. They lost to Wisconsin in that Elite Eight, and him coming off and hugging Coach Miller and apologizing to Coach Miller that he couldn't get him to the Final Four. That was TJ McConnell. Tommy Lloyd on TJ McConnell.
He's an incredible example of toughness
and will to be successful and will to win and figuring out, what you got to do to be successful at the highest level. And it's honestly, it's inspiring. And, our team needs a little TJ McConnell right now, that they could use a little of that, of his heart, his toughness, his grit, his will to win. We could use some of that. So, you know what? I mean, maybe things are all coming together for a reason. And hopefully, having him around just for those few hours, a little bit of it rubs off on our guys. There's a conversation or two he can have. Because, that's a guy who's seen it and done it all. You talk about going to the NBA undrafted, and we played against him. When I was at Gonzaga, we played, against TJ here. I mean, he was, tough as nails, undrafted, goes to Philadelphia, right? I think it was the Trust the Process Philly team, right? Like he's the tanking. And this guy went and found a way. On a team that's trying to tank, he stood out. And I went to a game, a couple of years ago to watch Ben, and, I was blown away with how good of a player, TJ was on that stage. I mean, and it's awesome to watch. And for guys trying to make it, I mean, guys should pay attention to him. And, maybe their journey or the way they're going to make it's a little bit different, but there's going to be a lot of similarities with toughness, grit, a stick-to-itiveness, figuring it out, and not trying to be like other people, because he's a unique player. So it's going to be awesome to have him back. It'll be awesome to have Ben back, and I'm proud that the athletic department's able to honor him.
Who is today's Pest of the Game? The Pest of the Game is brought to you by University Termite and Pest Control. Check them out at BePestFree.com.
All right, time for our Pests of the Game. I'm going to go with, I like to go with the guys off the bench, the guys that bring some juice off the bench. So I'm going with Hamed Olainka, the 6'9" forward. He's well-traveled, Garden City Community College, Utah Tech out of L.A. He can do a little bit of everything. He can play defense. And that's, I think, if they're going to win this game, they're going to need a guy off the bench maybe that can bring some defensive juice to their lineup. So Hamed Olainka is my Pest of the Game today.
I'm going to go with Trey Fort for obvious reasons. His name is Trey.
Yeah.
So it kind of lets you know what
and
Trey
he's made 30 of them.
means 3 for the people that don't understand. 3. He went 5 of 8 in the last game, and he took 9 shots. So that's tell you what he's in there to do. But, yeah, I think we have to watch out for Trey because three-point shooters have been hurting us.
Yeah, Trey was going to be my guy for that same reason, just because those threes. But I'll go with Josh Holloway. He's the guy among those guards. They're going to see Arizona fans, if you're not familiar, you're going to see a ton of guards on the court for Samford tonight. But he's the guy who leads them in steals. And to me, I think Arizona's going to find their field goal percentage is going to be okay in this game, Kelvin. Mm-hmm. I think the big issue is if you see a lopsided number like we saw against UCLA, that's going to be a big issue because they can get out and get some easy offense off of transition buckets. So I'll go with Josh Holloway because he's the guy who leads them in steals 2 per game.
All right, those are the guys we think will get underneath the skin of the Arizona Wildcats tonight at McKale.
That's today's Pest of the Game. The Pest of the Game is brought to you by University Termite and Pest Control. Visit BePestFree.com.
All right, let's take a quick check of what's happening around the rest of the country in college basketball. A lot of games on the docket. On the national side, 3 in the Big 12 this evening. 1 game in progress, talking about Sean Miller. Kelvin, Sean Miller's guys are got to take on UConn tonight on the road.
Yeah, the first thing I thought about when I saw that, I said, like, Hurley versus Miller. Hurley versus Miller. Like that's an interesting game right there. That sounds like the Big East to me.
Maybe not a game you want to be a ref in, right?
Oh, yeah.
Let's take a look at the rest of the top 25.
Let's take a look at what's happening today around the rest of the country. Scoreboard is brought to you by Goldberg and Osborne. Goldberg and Osborne, the injury lawyers.
All right, one other game in progress right now. Number 21 Memphis down 7 early against Virginia, 21-14. The Tigers, a surprise team on the season. They are 8-2. to begin this thing. And we mentioned a game involving two top 25 teams tonight. Number 24, Michigan, will take on number 14, Oklahoma, in the Jumpman Invitational down in Charlotte. The Sooners looking to go to 11-0 on the season. Just two other games in the Big 12 this evening. And those games will be earlier start times, about a half an hour from now. Number 15, Houston will host Toledo. The Cougars are 6-3 on the season. And Oklahoma State will host Tarleton State. The Cowboys are also 6-3. That's your
Scoreboard is brought to you by Goldberg and Osborne. Goldberg and Osborne, the injury lawyers.
Meridian Wealth Management, Arizona Game Day. Final hour straight ahead, along with Calvin Efon and JW Madden. I'm David Kelly. You're listening to Wildcats Radio, 1290.
Our Window Depot coverage of Arizona basketball is getting you closer to tip-off. This is Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day. Hour 2 of the pregame show is brought to you by Dave & Buster's Tucson, Dorado Rock, Goodfellas AC, Humane Society of Southern Arizona, Lexus of Tucson, Recon Auto Detail, Right Way Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing, Rocking KA Master Plan Community designed by nature, University Termite and Pest Control, and by Meridian Wealth Management. Wealth well managed, life well lived.
The Window Depot is more than a window store. The Window Depot is a one-stop warehouse with everything you need for your complete home remodel. Shop the aisles of pre-built cabinets in a variety of colors, granite and quartz countertops, sinks, skylights, and hardware to complete your project. Need a custom order? We can help. Our designers offer free design services and can special order everything you need for your kitchen or bathroom remodel today. Shop thewindowdepot.com or find a location near you. The Window Depot, more than a window store.
Does it feel like the price of everything is going up, up, up? We can't control the price of gas or groceries, but at Royal Buick GMC, we never add market adjustments, even while other dealers add fees because inventory is limited. At Royal Buick GMC, you can rest assured you won't pay market adjustments, and we stand by our transparent online pricing. Royal Buick GMC, the dealership that's different. OAC plus tax, title, license, dealer-installed options, and $529 doc fee. Royal Buick GMC, in the Auto Mall and at RoyalTucson.com.
With cooler weather on the way, many of us are turning on our furnaces for the first time this season. We hope everything runs smoothly, but if you notice strange noises, frequent cycling, or no heat at all, give Rightway a call. Right now we're offering a complete system tune-up for just $65, plus a free carbon monoxide test for your peace of mind. Don't wait till it's too late. Call Rightway, 520-549-1914 to schedule your $65 complete system tune-up.
As Arizona's leading personal injury law firm for more than 35 years, Goldberg & Osborne agrees. Bear down, Arizona. With offices statewide, including Tucson and Sierra Vista, the Eagle gives you home field advantage. More than 2,200 five-star Google reviews prove Goldberg & Osborne has the playbook for any situation. So after an accident, let the attorneys voted best personal injury law firm 4 years in a row tackle that insurance company and get you the settlement you deserve. Goldberg & Osborne, 1-800-THE-EAGLE.
Don't hold back. Just dive right in. This is Desert Diamond. The round-the-clock, off-the-charts, over-the-top spectacle that puts a shine on any day, anytime. The tables are hot to the touch. The slots are spinning winners every day. And the point spreads are yours for the taking. So go ahead. Live the diamond life. Desert Diamond Casino. Visit ddcaz.com.
An enterprise of the Thana Autumn Nation.
Honey, our yard's full of weeds. Looks like a jungle and the neighbors are complaining.
I know. I'm trying to get rid of them, but the product I'm using, it doesn't work.
Oh.
Not to mention, I don't have the time.
But it's not just weeds.
Not?
No, I'm seeing ants.
Ants?
Yeah, and spiders.
Ooh, spiders.
I know, and I think I saw a scorpion.
No way.
Yes way, and there's a pack rat in our garage.
Ew. Okay, I'll call University Termite and Pest Control today. We'll get rid of all of them.
Okay, honey, thank you.
University Termite and Pest Control, locally owned. Find them online at bepestfree.com.
Sean Furrier for Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care. Our Black Friday week of savings has been extended into December. Right now, every set of tires is on sale, and you can stack on manufacturer's rebates for even more savings, up to $180 more. We've also got popular maintenance services at up to 50% off to get you road trip ready for your holiday travel. And beyond the amazing low total tire prices, we'll include Jack's Plus Pack, a dozen tire-related services like touchless mounting, computerized balancing, new rubber stems, including the reset for tire pressure monitoring systems. Plus, you'll also get a lifetime of tire maintenance, rotations, rebalancing, and tire repairs. Jack's Plus Pack is a $249 value, and it's included with your new set of tires. We'll even throw in a free wheel alignment check if you want it. And it's all at the guaranteed lowest price. Get ready for holiday travel at any of Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care's 14 area locations. Call, stop by, or visit us online. Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care, since 1960, we're here to get you there.
Wildcat Nation, are you ready?
Priebus turnaround, gets it off, and it rolls in for two. Oh my! KJ Lewis slams it home. Stolen away by Bradley Caleb on a breakaway windmill jam.
Arizona basketball never sleeps. Bear down, Cats. Our Window Depot coverage of U of A basketball continues. The Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day pregame show is brought to you by Meridian Wealth Management. Wealth well managed, life well lived. We're getting closer to tip-off for today's Arizona basketball game. This is Wildcats Radio 1290.
If you're given $1 million today, what would you buy first?
Buy my parents a house.
What's your favorite restaurant?
Red Lobster.
If you could have any pet, what would it be?
An anaconda.
If you could have dinner with anyone, living or dead, who would you choose?
The president.
Name 2 goals you plan to accomplish before you're 35.
Make it to the NBA and win a national championship.
Which famous person do you look like?
Steve-O.
If NASA asked you to go into space, would you accept?
Absolutely.
If you were invincible for a day, what would you do?
Climb the Eiffel Tower.
What is your ideal vacation?
Hawaii, I don't know.
What is your favorite time of day?
Nighttime.
What's your earliest happy memory?
Earliest happy memory? I have no idea.
What's your best playground memory?
Making my first basket.
What is one of your pet peeves?
When people touch my neck.
That was a very young, well, 2 youngs there. A young T.J. McConnell, but you know who was asking those questions was Danny Martinez, who we had on the show earlier this week, who called the semifinal game in the NIVC for ESPN Plus. It is the director of softball operations for the Arizona Wildcats. We talked to Danny, and I told him, yeah, Danny, I remember you were here when I first got here. And he was like, yeah, 2008, that was his freshman year. That was a young Danny Martinez there in the sports information department asking those questions to TJ McConnell when he first got to town here. So again, it's fun. It's really, again, this is when you think about the guys, like, again, I got here in 2008, so I didn't get to experience a lot of those guys that were playing in the NBA at that particular time. Your Richard Jeffersons and your Channing Frys and your Jason Terrys and all of those guys. So pretty cool that this is one of my guys now that I've had a chance to cover here and had a chance to cover for those 2 seasons and those Elite 8 runs that is back here now and going to be honored tonight in the Ring of Honor. 6:45, that is going to take place before the game. So be sure you are at McKale Center and in your seat. Unfortunately, I don't usually get there quite that quickly after we are off the air at 6:30, so I won't get a chance to see it. We'll have TJ. He'll meet with the media briefly at halftime before the team heads back up to Phoenix. But we will have we'll carry that for you. We'll get that on in the post-game show coming up later tonight. All right, let's tell you what we got coming up for this final hour of the show. And you've got your best bets coming up here. U of A is a 19.5-point favorite in this contest. The over-under 167 That is brought to you by the Desert Diamond Casino Sports Book. We'll take a little bit more of a look at Samford and some of the things they bring to the table in your opponent's scouting report. We got keys to the game, starting lineups, and we also got a sponsor interview coming up for you in this last hour. Josh Reddick from the Desert Sky Spine and Pain Institute will join us. They are one of the new sponsors on our Arizona Athletics broadcast, and we will find out what they are all about. Athletes from across the sports realm, high school, college, professional, are seeking them out for pain management, and we'll tell you exactly how they make that happen for the athletes that they treat. It is Meridian Wealth Management, Arizona Game Day. Let's go ahead right now and give you your best bets.
Tucson, what are some of today's best bets? Will the Cats beat the spread? It's time to look at some of today's best bets. Brought to you by Desert Diamond Sportsbook, Arizona's best bet.
All right, y'all got to catch up. I have opened up a lead in this thing.
We've been over this. It's because the Arizona Wildcats have not played very good basketball in the last 3 months.
Yeah. And it's a long season, baby.
All right. I've got a 4-game lead over Kelvin right now, 5 over J-Dub, 13-5 overall, so I'm 13 out of 18 on these picks. It is Arizona tonight minus 19.5. Let's see, who's bringing up the rear? J-Dub, so we'll let you go first tonight.
I don't think they win by 19. I think it's 15, something like that. I think they win comfortably, but I got too much respect for the Samford team. So I think they're going to shoot well in McKale tonight. A lot of good shooters on that team. So I'd say closer to 15-16.
All right, so J-Dub is going to take the points on that one. Sam plus the 19.5. Kelvin.
Yeah, I think I got to go with that as well. I just believe that, again, Samford has a good offense, so you can't underestimate them.
All right, Samford plus 19.5, says Kelvin. That's how I was leaning as well. So I'm going to stick with that. And I could go against you guys to gain some more ground, but I'll stay with it. I'll stay with it because that's what I was.
No, that's not the way this works. You went last, so you get to see what we two pick, so that you can literally pick the same as us, and there's no movement. That's how this works.
Well, yeah, we switch it up. It's not that way all the time. All right, so everybody's going to take Samford plus the 19.5. The over-under at 167.5. Two teams that can score the basketball. Will they? I think that's the largest number we've had this season. Just going back, I think the previous high number was 161.5 in the Duke game. So this is going to be the highest.
Yeah, they played a lot of defense-minded teams, right? I mean, you think about Wisconsin, you think about Duke, UCLA. A lot of teams they've faced up against are teams that are, that are winning games via their defense.
I'll go first on this one. I'll go over.
I'll go over as well.
I will say, what do you say?
167.5.
It's going to be 164.
So under.
Yes,
Okay.
164 is the number.
All right, 164. So everybody is taking Samford and the 19.5 points tonight. Kelvin and I are taking the over on the 167.5. J-Dub is going to take the under at 167.5. We'll find out who's cashing checks or tickets, not checks, tickets after the ball game.
Those are today's best bets. They are brought to you by Desert Diamond Sportsbook, Arizona's best bet.
All right, let's hear from Tommy Lloyd, the head coach of your Arizona Wildcats. There's been some questions about the toughness of this team. Is this a tough team? And Tommy addressed how, if it is not a tough team, how he can make it a more tough team.
I mean, I think you got to challenge guys. You got to teach them what winning plays are, and you got to hone in on those things, and then you try to hold them accountable for it. I mean, it's not really much more complicated than that. I mean, I think in a lot of these games, the guys have played hard, like really hard, and just maybe just a little bit of our execution and making things a little bit easier for each other could be better. At both ends of the floor. So, I mean, I'm not like, questioning the toughness overall, but we just got to get a little bit better at, some of the, late game execution.
Got to get rebounds late in the games. Can't let those get away. I mean, you win the rebound battle by 10, but you let them get some key offensive rebounds late that allowed them to come back and win that basketball game. Again, it's about winning plays at the end of these ball games. And this next thing you're going to hear from Tommy, I thought this was, again, this is the essence, I think, of who Tommy Lloyd is when he says we are going to get this thing figured out.
To be honest with you, we don't know right now if we're about to break through or if it's a ways off. But we got to keep going. We got to keep going. We got to keep fighting for it. And I just know this. I was at home Sunday, and I was working at my table, like I work, and my family's out doing things. I'm, working and digesting the UCLA game, getting ready for Samford. Met a couple guys on the staff come up and we met. And I was like, man, why do I feel good right now? Why do I have a joyful feeling? Like, I shouldn't be having a joyful feeling. Like, this is hard. And you know what it is? I love coaching. I love the challenge. I love figuring out hard things. So I can't just be there when the getting's good. And what drives me and motivates me is delivering for the community, for the university. That's like my internal delivering for the players. That's what drives me. So what I can't do, I can't let the disappointment of maybe a slower start than we all would have hoped for. I can't let that weigh me down because I feel guilty we haven't delivered. So like I have to take all the good from the motivation I get from wanting to deliver and our fans and all this stuff, and I can't let the negative stuff pull me down because I'm in it. And you know what? When I'm in it, I actually enjoy it. I do. Now, are there moments where it's tough? Heck yeah. I mean, there's no question there's those emotional moments where your ego gets involved and you're like, why is this so hard? And, maybe you start pointing fingers, but that's not who I am. I love coaching. I love the challenge of this. I love figuring out complex problems. And you know what? We're in it right now. So I'm going to keep approaching it like that, and I'm going to be optimistic that better days are coming. But we're fighting for those better days. We're just not assuming they're going to happen.
There you go. The coach of your Arizona Wildcats, again, is like, that's kind of his constant refrain. I'm in it. I'm here for it. He likes to say, I'm here for it.
Hey, you got to love it. That's what I love to hear. I mean, a real coach understands that, like, it's going to be some ups and downs. And when things are all gravy and things are all good, you're sitting around wondering how your guys are going to react when the things go the other way. So being in that situation early, you get a chance to make adjustments. You get a chance to coach. Yeah. I always tell you guys that. I say, you got to lose a game or two before you actually can coach because the guys think they got it and their ears are closed. But when they start to lose a little bit, you get an opportunity to go in and show them ways that you can help them out. And that's where you get those players remembering you forever because they go back to times when they were struggling. And as a coach, you figured out a way to help them out.
The most frustrating thing as a casual observer and a fan to watch is somebody who's unflappable and hard-headed and a round peg, square hole type of situation and won't ever take accountability. But guys, Coach Lloyd from day one, game one, is all about, I got to do this better. I got to do whatever. Very young and inexperienced, quote unquote, 20 years on the bench, obviously up in Spokane. Young coach Kelvin on the bench in his first head coaching job. This is the first time, we talked about this pre-show, first time he's really faced adversity. We talk about Arizona not having a record that's upside down like this. The Zags haven't had a record during his time up there as well. So I like that sentiment of he's in it. He's always been in it, DK. But the idea that he's happy about this process and that he believes in these guys on this team. He believes that this team can turn this around. Otherwise, there's no sky is falling from that perspective from the bench. So it's really just a matter of everybody coming together and figuring out a way, Kelvin, to tighten a few things up. I mean, these are some one-possession games, close out last 5 minutes of games, play a little bit tighter, a little bit cleaner, and they're maybe 4-1 in those Power 5 games instead of 0-5.
All right, let's take a closer look at tonight's opponent, the Samford Bulldogs, with your scouting report.
Time now for our look at today's Wildcat opponent. The scouting report is brought to you by Jack Furrier Tire and Auto. Jack Furrier since 1960. We're here to get you there.
Samford arrives at 9-2. They've won 5 straight games, coming off a 72-47 home win over Austin Peay. It was their 25th straight win at home for this program. We mentioned earlier in the show, if you were not with us, this is the second highest scoring team in the nation behind Kentucky. They average 91 points a game, 90.5 to be exact. Trey Fort, who the two gentlemen across from me picked as their pest of the game, has scored double figures now in 4 of the last 5 games. The Bulldogs are a top 10 3-point team as well, making almost 12 3-point shots per ball game. Jaden Brownwell leads the team in scoring. He's averaging 15 points and is one of the most efficient scorers in the country. It is your scouting report of the Samford Bulldogs. This will be the second time that these two teams have met. Arizona won the last meeting way back in the 2006 season here in Tucson. Your scouting report is brought to you by Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care. Jack Furrier since 1960. We're here to get you there. Defensively, Samford third in the country in forcing turnovers at 18 per game. That, again, this is when we talk about guys coming back off of a game against UCLA, and you got these two lower, again, for lack of a better term, mid-majors coming in here. But this might be just the kind of game, and I think Tommy said that the Wildcats need right now. This is a mid-major that can do a lot of things at both ends of the floor to cause you disruptions.
Well, DK, you know what you need? You need a challenge.
Yeah.
You need every game to be a challenge to where you have to get better and you have to take it serious. You don't want a bunch of cupcakes where the games don't really mean anything and the guys are just playing, because when you play a serious team, it's going to go another level and your guys are not going to be ready. So I'd rather play a team like this as far as preparing for my season that's going to be trapping and playing full court defense and double teaming and all those things, because it keeps your guys on point. Your guys, especially after having a turnover game, the bad turnovers like they had last game, they have to be on point or they can, come in and do another 22-game turnover.
Yeah, and this is a game you're just not going to, I'm bigger, out big them, out skill them, out, athleticize them, Kelvin. You're not going to just come into this game and pencil it in as a win. You got to outthink them. The whole concept of this, playing against pressure like this, 10 guys averaging over 10 minutes a game on that team.
Yeah.
There's nobody even close to sniffing 30 minutes a game. So what that tells me is tons of pressure, a lot of rotations, and that's going to keep them fresh, Kelvin, and making those choices. You might break that press once, and there are going to be multiple styles of press. 1-3-1, you're going to see some traps. You're going to see them not trap. Maybe JB's not going to be trapped quite as much, I would guess. But you're going to see it, and you have to break it and break it again and break it again and break it again. And you get sloppy. You don't think your way through that and how you're reading what the press is throwing at you because of those mix and match type stuff, Kelvin. You got to make sure that your head's in this game, because that's what this is going to require.
And just so you guys know, what most teams are trying to do when they're running press, they're trying to get the ball out of your playmakers' hands. They're going to trap your best ball handlers, and you want guys that are not used to handling the ball to see if you can get them to make a mistake.
Rylan Jones, a transfer guard for them, and he hails from Utah State, top 15 in the country in assists. He's got 68 through 11 games. J-Dub mentioned great production off the bench with 10 players averaging double-digit minutes. Riley Allenspach, Lucas Walls, and Josh Holloway are all averaging also 7 points per game off the bench this season.
On the other side, guys, 19 assists.
Yeah.
19 assists, Kelvin.
Oh, yeah. No, they move that ball.
As a team, for sure. And I always love to look at just kind of the transfers, or where their transfers are from. They've got transfers from Mississippi State, Vanderbilt, so SEC kids, Tulane, Utah Tech, Wagner, Utah State, and UIC. So they've got a kid out of the Horizon League as well on their roster. So they've got some kids that have played some college basketball. That's why
And
they are who they are.
And some of them multiple transfers.
Yeah.
A few other guys are junior college players that
Right.
moved on to D1. And, but again, I love this. I know a lot of people get up, or up in arms about all the transferring and everything. But being a former player that was on the bench for a little while in basketball, you just want an opportunity to play. You want an opportunity to get out there and do the things you love. And I love seeing all these guys going to all the different places because, you have to take these teams serious when you see them now. You can't just think that you can, walk in there and play these guys and they don't have top-level talent as well.
29-6 they were last year. Bucky McMillan is the head coach. He is in his 5th season, 85 wins and 43 losses. That is your scouting report.
And that's the lowdown on the team U of A is about to face on the hardwood. The scouting report has been brought to you by Jack Furrier Tire and Auto. Jack Furrier since 1960. We're here to get you there.
All right, much more coming up. We're going to chat with Josh Reddock from Desert Sky Spine and Pain next. Meridian Wealth Management, Arizona Game Day, Wildcats and Samford at 7 o'clock at McKale Center. With Kelvin Ifan and JW Madden, I'm David Kelly. You're listening to Wildcats Radio 1290.
Our Window Depot coverage of Arizona basketball continues. This is Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day. Hour 3 of the pregame show is brought to you by Broadway in Tucson, Cool Willie's Air and Plumbing, Drain Medics, First Choice Pools, Goldberg and Osborne the Injury Lawyers, Kaiser Garage Doors and Gates, O'Reilly Chevrolet, Showtime Sports Cards, Tucson Police Department, and by Meridian Wealth Management. Wealth well managed, life well lived.
Cool Willie's Air and Plumbing. Always trust the big guy. Mention your Wildcats and receive $50 off any repair at coolwillies.com. Cool Willie's is proud to be a partner of the University of Arizona Wildcats basketball radio broadcast. 2 powerful teams working hard for you to get the job done right every day. Cool Willie's Air and Plumbing. Big enough to help, small enough to care. Remember to mention your Wildcats and receive $50 off any repair. coolwillies.com.
Well, boss, how's the sleigh?
It's amazing. Like it just flew off the showroom floor. Sparkling clean, no chimney dust, and I've never seen his nose so bright.
Recon Auto Detailing.
Recon gift cards to all, and to all a clean ride.
Give Recon Auto Detailing gift cards, and Arizona's premier auto detailing company will come do a basic cleaning or a jaw-dropping full detail, including a ceramic finish for anyone on your list. Get your Recon Auto Detailing gift cards now online at recondetail.com.
Experiencing the natural wonders comes easy at Rockin' K. Nestled at the base of the Rincon Mountain foothills, enjoy stunning mountain views up close every day. In the top-rated Vail School District, Rockin' K is close to work, shopping, and services. Tour 18 model homes by top-tier builders offering move-in ready homes and special incentives. LiveRockingK.com. Proud U of A radio broadcast sponsor.
You've heard the term fiduciary when describing financial services, but do you know what that really means? The fiduciary standard requires firms to put the interests of the client above the interests of the financial advisor. This is Natalie Fernandez-Lee, and at Meridian Wealth Management, we intentionally structured our business as a true fiduciary and are in the minority of firms in the industry who operate that way. As I always say, our clients come first, and we mean it. Visit meridianwealthllc.com or call us at 719-1433 today.
Advisory services provided by Meridian Wealth Management, a registered investment advisor.
Driving the lane, dunking on the competition, and playing as a team. These are things we'll see this season watching our Wildcats play basketball. These happen to be the things you'll also find when you buy your next vehicle from O'Reilly Chevrolet. The only difference is at O'Reilly, nobody gets penalized for traveling. Heck, we actually encourage it. See us on Broadway next to Park Place Mall. Call 747-8000 or find new roads at O'Reilly.com, where you can experience our version of a steal. O'Reilly Chevrolet, more than a great price.
O'Reilly Chevrolet.
Go Wildcats! As a new season starts, the Tucson Police Department bears down with the Tucson community. We are looking to build our team, and we need you. Interested in joining our starting lineup? Visit jointucsonpd.org. Join our team and score a great career. From our commissioned officers to our professional staff, the Tucson Police Department proudly stands behind the Arizona Wildcats. Bear down and apply today at jointucsonpd.org.
Kick off the savings this month at Royal Kia. Get APR financing as low as 0% for 72 months on a new 2024 Kia EV6. Plus up to $6,000 in available savings. Or lease it for $289 a month for 24 months with $1,000 due at signing. Get 0% APR for 48 months on the 2024 Kia Sportage. Plus up to $5,750 in available savings. Or lease the Kia Sportage plug-in hybrid for $399 a month for 36 months with nothing due at signing. EV6 K30848, Sportage APR K29986, Sportage Lease K29878, $650 acquisition fee, no security deposit. Mileage charge of 20 cents per mile over 10,000 miles per year. OAC plus tax, title, license, dealer install options, and $529 doc fee. Must finance with Kia Motors Finance. See dealer for details. Offers end 10/31/24. Kick off the savings now at Royal Kia, Speedway in Columbus, or royalkia.com.
KCUB Tucson, a Cumulus media station. We have the Arizona Wildcats covered on game day like no one else. We are Wildcats Radio 1290. Our Window Depot coverage of U of A basketball continues. This is the Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day pregame show on Wildcats Radio 1290. Now back to your hosts, David Kelly, the Captain Kelvin Ifan, and J.W. Madden.
All right, we're pleased to chat today here in studio with one of our new sponsors on our Arizona Wildcats athletics. It's Desert Sky Spine and Pain. And I'm joined today by the CEO, Josh Reddock. And Josh, appreciate you taking a few minutes to join us. Desert Sky Spine and Pain. I mean, you can just go by the title and kind of figure out what it is that you guys do, but we really want to dive into it a little bit further so folks can have an idea of if they're dealing with spine and back pain, what are some of the things that they can do to try to help themselves with that. Talk to us a little bit about your company and what makes you guys different from maybe other pain clinics.
First of all, thank you for having us on the show. We appreciate it. Desert Sky Spine and Pain, what makes us different? So Desert Sky Spine and Pain, we approach the patient from a holistic standpoint. When a patient comes in and you have an injury, what we're looking at is, one, how can we help treat that initial pain? Two, how can we help you get back to function as quickly as possible? And three, how can we help you make lifestyle changes that will carry on beyond the treatment? A lot of groups in town are looking to put the Band-Aid on and just leave it at a Band-Aid because they see a patient as an annuity where they continue to come in. For us, the big joke within the office is we hope we never see you again unless you're injured.
That's awesome. And you guys are actually physicians at your clinic.
Correct. We have 4 physicians and we have 5 advanced practice providers, which for most people are they understand it to be nurse practitioners or physician assistants. We also have a staff made up of a few nurses and some people with athletic training background, paramedic background, or EMT background.
So what made you want to start this company? Were you an athlete yourself? Did you deal with pain yourself? How did you get involved in this?
That's a great question. So for years, I worked in medical sales. And Dr. Corey, the founder of Desert Sky, was one of my customers. And we started training for triathlons together, became really good friends. And over time, we wanted to expand on what he was doing and bring good medicine to the community. Dr. Corey, being pretty much the sole provider at the time, or sole physician at the time, needed help getting the business side going. So when an opportunity came up for me,
you're the brains to his brawn.
I put it this way: I'd say I have more time to execute on his brain and brawn. I'm just more the task guy. No, Dr. Corey had a brilliant vision. I was able to send friends and family to him. Had great experiences with him. My friends and family had great experiences. And like I tell everyone, I did sales for a long time, was pretty successful at it, but I hated selling things. I always told people things I believe in, it's easy for me to talk about. And with Dr. Corey, that became an easy conversation with people. So when the opportunity came up, we decided let's try to get this philosophy out into the community.
And you mentioned Dr. Corey. That's Dr. Thomas Corey. He's the founder of Desert Sky Spine and Pain. He's known by athletes throughout Arizona and across the country. You guys work with a number of major professional athletes.
That is correct.
Unfortunately, due to HIPAA, we can't tell who they are. But I mean, guys that have played at all levels: NBA, NBA, Major League Baseball,
NBA, Major League Baseball, professional fighters. We have it all coming in. Dr. Corey, it's one of the unique things about him is because of his ability to understand what it means, not just to, again, put a Band-Aid on the problem, but treat patients from a holistic standpoint. A lot of these guys, I mean, it came by word of mouth. I'll tell you, it's something we don't advertise, but we had 2 patients come in that just by chance, someone had mentioned us. And those 2 patients, both professional athletes, told their friends, and their friends told other friends.
We are chatting with CEO Josh Reddock of Desert Sky Spine and Pain, one of our new sponsors on our Arizona Wildcats broadcast. Now, you guys deal with a treatment or at least an injection known as platelet-rich plasma. Is that how I'm saying that correctly? We've seen athletes like Tiger Woods and Kobe Bryant use this treatment to manage pain. Can you explain what this is and why we see athletes using this in place of stronger drugs like opioids?
So platelet-rich plasma, or commonly known as PRP, it's a simple procedure where they take blood from you, they spin it in a centrifuge and separate the blood components from the platelets, essentially, the platelets and the plasma. And they take that platelet and plasma and inject into the injured tendon, muscle, whatever it is, joint. Now, what's interesting about PRP, no one is exactly sure how it works. There's a lot of theories about how it works, but the results are there. So athletes, and you can look back, there's some really good stories. Kobe Bryant, 15 years ago, was flying to Germany to get treatment done with it. No one really knew that much about it at the time. Now, athletes like Tiger Woods, they'll do it because it expedites healing. And to what you said earlier, a lot of the patients or these athletes can avoid going on opioids or having more invasive procedures or surgeries done and get back to their sports season quicker.
Yeah, I mean, again, we obviously cover athletes on a daily basis here, and injuries are just obviously a part of the game. We just got out of a U of A football season where a number of injuries happened that ended seasons. How can athletes avoid surgery, though, and still recover quickly?
That is a great question. So one of the things, and this goes into kind of how we work and treat our patients. I told you we come from a more holistic standpoint. So one of the ways athletes can prevent injuries and or prevent long-term injuries is by, one, doing a lot of the prep work, strength and conditioning in the off season, working with performance coaches to get movements right and muscles to fire in proper order. Number 2, when they do feel a nagging injury, is to get it looked at and see how they can work around that ailment or injury and start to strengthen that particular area. Number 3, and this is the one for us where we kind of come in at this step, which is if it gets to a point where it needs to be treated, you want to treat it, put the Band-Aid on it, but then you want to incorporate nutrition, diet, and the big thing we're kind of focusing on now is the mental health side of it, which is to work on your head and set realistic expectations so that you can prevent that injury from manifesting into something that becomes more chronic or severe.
Josh Reddock, the CEO over at Desert Sky and Spine and Pain, joining us, one of our newest sponsors on our Arizona Athletics broadcast. Obviously, we were just talking about the athletes that you deal with. These are all younger people. I mean, we sometimes think about pain management as only being for old people, but clearly that's not the case in terms of your practice. You guys even deal with younger high school athletes here in our community.
That's correct. We do a lot. So within our group of physicians, we have 2 doctors who are physical medicine and rehabilitation providers. With their training, they can work with traumatic brain injuries and they can work within concussion protocol. So with a lot of the high schools here, we will see their athletes if they suspect a concussion. Also with some of these acute injuries, whether it's a sprained ankle or, injured knee, the athletes can come in and our doctors will evaluate them, put them on a plan that allows for them to slowly rehabilitate themselves and hopefully get them on the field sooner. Again, of course, staying within whatever the safety measures are.
Is this full service? Do you do PT on site as well or no?
Man, you ask a lot of really good questions. We do not do PT on site, but that being said, we work with a lot of really good physical therapists in town. And when I say that, there's 2 really good programs, Smith Performance Center as well as the Physio Shop. Both of these, we have a really good relationship. The doctors actively talk to each other back and forth. I can tell you, my oldest daughter plays volleyball, had an injury. We worked with her at the clinic and then sent her over to the Physio Shop to get some additional work. But again, that communication with these providers on both sides of it is what leads to the best results. Wherever you go, you're best suited working with professionals that can communicate. And unfortunately in healthcare, that doesn't exist a lot. But I can tell you with our group, we're well connected within the community, working with what I would consider to be the top tier providers.
CEO Josh, I just upped you up the chain there. CEO Josh Reddick from Desert Sky Spine and Pain is joining us today. And you obviously are from here in Tucson. Josh, an athlete. Tell us a little bit about you. Like, where'd you go to high school? Would you play?
Wow. So born and raised in Tucson. I went to 4 different high schools.
Wow.
I was a little bit of a troublemaker, got kicked out of a couple high schools. Did play sports. I ran track, did cross country, played basketball for a few seasons. Was never a superstar athlete. For me, it was always about the hard work. But I was blessed in having amazing coaches throughout my whole athletic career. Again, blessed in that. I coached sports for a while, coached little boys volleyball, coached track and cross country for a little bit. And then I've, helped coach my daughters over the years as well.
So what's the short version of troublemaker to CEO?
Wow. Short version is I was an immature kid. I skipped a grade growing up. And so always had the potential to do well, but always was bored in class. So I would get creative with how I spent my downtime. That creativity led to getting into trouble at a couple of different schools. But what kind of rescued me from that is I joined the military, and I've been in 25 years now and went from being a private to a commander of a military unit.
What is is there a patient success story that you love to tell?
I have a few of them. And this is something we haven't touched on what we do, but part of what we do and my favorite type of patients, we do a lot with cancer patients. We have a treatment for cancer patients that we can put a small device in them. It's called an intrathecal drug pump. And rather than the patient taking oral medication to relieve pain, which a lot of times with these oral opioids, it causes a lot of side effects like constipation, drowsiness. If we put the medication in this intrathecal drug pump, they can get about 1/300th the dose they would take orally. So now someone, and it's unfortunate it works this way, but with terminal cancer, instead of being drowsy all the time and constipated, not being able to enjoy the last 6 months of their life with their family, we put this device in, and what it does is allows for them to be cognizant around their family. They're not having the constipation issues, and studies have shown it actually can extend the life even in a terminal cancer patient. I don't want to just say one story because I've seen lots of those stories with that particular treatment, and it's been unbelievable. Now, if you want to talk about the more common patient, the athlete that comes in, we had one in particular. She's a very competitive amateur cyclist, broke her arm, got it surgically repaired, but still her arm wasn't functioning well. She had residual pain left afterwards. And after working with our doctors for around a year, we were able to get her back on the bike and back to winning races. She still has a little bit of pain. Sometimes that's always there. But the pain is managed and her lifestyle is conducive based on a lot of the treatments and advice our doctors gave this patient.
Josh Reddick from Desert Sky Spine and Pain is our guest. Josh, we always talk about, my wife works in the healthcare industry, and she's always talking about how as a patient you have to advocate for yourself. What kind of questions should patients be asking their doctors about treatment?
Again, that's a really good question. Healthcare is interesting. And again, I'm going to say this as best I can. when you walk into an office with a doctor, and let's say you walk into your primary care doctor because you have pain and he wants to refer you, what I would ask is most people just take doctors at their word. And again, doctors are amazing people. I'm not saying they're bad, but you should still ask why, if they want to refer you to a doctor, why they like this doctor. Or if a doctor recommends a treatment for you, ask him why he's recommending this treatment. Also, do your research on whatever treatment they recommend. Give you an example. Some of the procedures our doctors do, there might be 5 or 6 vendors that work with that particular one, like a spinal cord stimulator. And you're going to want to know why your doctor is choosing that device. There's clinical reasons. I'm not saying any product is better than the other, but clinically, you want to know. Unfortunately, there's enough bad characters in the industry that will recommend one because of their relationship with a rep or their relationship with the company, in the sense that maybe they're a speaker for that company. But you want to know the why behind it. And I tell everyone, this is just my background coming out of the medical device industry. If it were me, I would ask to talk to the rep in the room, because a lot of times the rep that represents the company is in the surgery with the physician, and you want to make sure they know their stuff as well, because a lot of times the doctors may have questions about whatever procedure it is or whatever is going on during the procedure to that rep, and you want to make sure they're knowledgeable.
What is the best way for people to get in touch with you guys if they want to start to get relief and schedule an appointment?
So the best way to do it is you can send a request online. You can call us at 520-229-2080, or you can ask your doctor, your primary care doctor, for a referral to our clinic. One more, I'm going to give you a website. It's www.desertskymedicine.com.
There you go. Outstanding. Josh, we appreciate you guys jumping on board with us here as a supporter of Arizona Athletics, and we appreciate you coming in and telling us a little bit more about Desert Sky Spine and Pain and what you guys can offer for folks that are athletic, non-athletic, but are dealing with pain in their lives.
Thank you again for having us, and we're proud to sponsor the U of A. Me personally, I'm a diehard U of A fan. They joke around that I can tell you every player's staff from 1987-88 on up. Steve Kerr, my boy.
There you go. Josh Reddick from Desert Sky Spine and Pain.
My heat and air were in a state of disrepair.
It's December in Tucson, and yes, it's cold outside, but we're here to help with our $79 furnace diagnostic service special and our $79 water heater flush that includes a free plumbing inspection. Call us at 520-492-0748 or fixrockschooling.com. And on behalf of our entire team, Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays.
Fix Your Rocks Cooling, Heating and Plumbing.
Broadway in Tucson presents the new 2024-2025 season, featuring 6 blockbuster productions, including Mamma Mia and the Southern Arizona premieres of Clue, live on stage, Beetlejuice, Some Like It Hot, the Neil Diamond musical, A Beautiful Noise, and Shucked. Secure your signature season tickets today and get the best seats at the best prices. Visit BroadwayInTucson.com and secure your 2024-2025 season tickets today.
Does it feel like the price of everything is going up, up, up? We can't control the price of gas or groceries, but at Royal Buick GMC, we never add market adjustments, even while other dealers add fees because inventory is limited. At Royal Buick GMC, you can rest assured you won't pay market adjustments, and we stand by our transparent online pricing. Royal Buick GMC, the dealership that's different. OAC plus tax, title, license, dealer-installed options, and $529 doc fee. Royal Buick GMC, in the Auto Mall and at RoyalTucson.com.
Do you often worry you left your garage door open? With the LiftMaster Garage Door Opener powered by MyQ, you'll never worry again. You can control, secure, and monitor your garage from your smartphone anytime from anywhere through the MyQ app. As an authorized LiftMaster dealer, we have smart openers designed for your needs, including belt drive motors for ultra-quiet operation, integrated camera for live video streaming, and battery backup that lets you in when the power is out. The team at Kaiser Garage Doors and Gates are your locally owned LiftMaster professionals. Visit KaiserGarage.com to learn more.
2025 is bringing the biggest change to air conditioning in decades. New EPA regulations mean AC costs could rise by up to 25%. If you've been thinking about replacing your old AC, now's the time. Rightway is offering 0 interest financing and a free furnace when you replace your AC this month. Don't wait till next year when prices go up. Call Right Way today for your free no-obligation estimate. Call 520-549-2697.
As Arizona's leading personal injury law firm for more than 35 years, Goldberg & Osborne agrees. Bear down, Arizona. With offices statewide, including Tucson and Sierra Vista, the Eagle gives you home field advantage. More than 2,200 five-star Google reviews prove Goldberg & Osborne has the playbook for any situation. So after an accident, let the attorneys voted best personal injury law firm 4 years in a row tackle that insurance company and get you the settlement you deserve. Goldberg & Osborne, 1-800-THE Eagle.
Honey, our yard's full of weeds. Looks like a jungle and the neighbors are complaining.
I know. I'm trying to get rid of them, but the product I'm using, it doesn't work.
Oh.
Not to mention, I don't have the time.
But it's not just weeds.
It's not?
No, I'm seeing ants.
Ants?
Yeah, and spiders.
Ooh, spiders.
I know, and I think I saw a scorpion.
No way.
Yes way, and there's a pack rat in our garage.
Ew. Okay, I'll call University Termite and Pest Control today. We'll get rid of all of them.
Okay, honey, thank you.
University Termite and Pest Control, locally owned. Find them online at bepestfree.com.
The Window Depot has everything you need to create the kitchen or bathroom of your dreams. Browse the aisles of in-stock cabinets available in a variety of sizes and configurations and instantly elevate your space today. Visit a showroom and let our experts guide you. Whether you're choosing from ready-to-go designs or creating a custom masterpiece, we can help you select the perfect wood type, color, and style, and top it off with unique hardware to complete your look. Find a location near you at thewindowdepot.com. The Window Depot, more than a window store.
Our Window Depot coverage of U of A basketball continues. This is the Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day pregame show on Wildcats Radio 1290. Now back to your hosts, David Kelly, the captain Kelvin Ifan, and J.W. Madden.
McConnell, hard drive, down to the bucket, high off the glass and scores it. Back out to TJ, drives right, bounce pass, Tarzuski, flush two. 3 minutes left, TJ with a hard drive right, out to Pitts, he'll shoot another three out there, it's good. And there's assist number 10. Morgan the rebound, that's going to do it, the horn. The Pac-12 champions go unbeaten at home for the second straight year.
Wildcats fans, our keys to the game are brought to you by the Royal Automotive Group. Royal Automotive, the dealership that is different.
You're on your way to McKale Center. Get in your seat. TJ McConnell being honored in about 25 minutes, 6:45 at McKale. Scheduled to honor him. Ring of Honor, 10 years in the National Basketball Association. Wildcats in Samford tonight. Time to tell you what we think Arizona has to do to win this game. And let's start today with J.W. Madden.
To me, guys, keys are pretty simple. Obviously, a lot of pressure tonight. Be patient. Take care of the ball, especially off dribble and smart passes. I'd like to see less than 15 turnovers. You got to dominate the glass against a smaller team like this. Plus 10, plus 15, plus 5 at least on the offensive glass. And number 3, in honor of TJ McConnell, work that offense. Trust your teammates. Trust your teammates. I'd like to see 20 assists. Going to be a lot of scoring in this game. Those are my keys tonight for the Wildcats.
Yeah, I'll go back to what you said about I think the glass is going to be critical in this game, and I think for Arizona, it's going to be very critical at the defensive end. This is obviously a team that can offensive rebound. The Samford Bulldogs can, and I think the difference between because we saw on Saturday they plus 10, and you still lost the game. The thing that could kill you here is if this team gets offensive rebounds, they can kick it out to guys that can knock down three-pointers, and that's a quick way down the drain if you're Arizona. So you have definitely got to be on the defensive boards tonight and not allow this offensive team for Samford to control it from that aspect. And again, I think we at some point we got to see something consistent from Caleb Love. He's got to start to build these games. I think it starts now. We need him to start building consistent scoring games back to back to back to back to back. And I'd like to see that start tonight with a solid effort from him offensively.
Yeah, even though that's going to be tough in this game because usually in games like this, everybody's scoring, right? So hard to kind of get your guy going a little bit when everybody's being aggressive. I say that get the bigs involved early in the paint. I think this is a small team. I think if you foul them, get them in foul trouble early, it takes away from that deep bench that they have. So possibly may be able to take them out of that pressure because in foul trouble. pick up the shooters at half court. All shooters need to be picked up at half court. You don't want to allow these guys to get in rhythm, to come down to the three-point line and take shots. They take deep threes as well. You want to be there to make sure they don't get those. They don't have a lot of post presence, so you can get extra out there on the outside. And then my last one is they shoot a bunch of threes. We have to collect those long rebounds. The guards have to collect those because when you shoot long shots, you get long boards.
All right,
Wildcats fans, that's our keys to the game. Brought to you by the Royal Automotive Group. Royal Automotive, the dealership that is different. The foundation of a great college basketball team begins with the starting lineup. Today's starting lineup is brought to you by Rockin' K, a master plan community designed by nature.
All right, 2 guards, 3 forwards. Jaden Bradley and Caleb Love at the guards. Carter Bryant, Trey Townsend, Toby Awaka at the forwards for Tommy Lloyd. Arizona and Samford, it's coming up next. We'll talk to you after the game. Enjoy it on Wildcats Radio 1290. Bear down.
Our Window Depot coverage of Arizona basketball continues. This is Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day. Hour 3 of the pregame show is brought to you by Broadway in Tucson, Cool Willie's Air and Plumbing, Drain Medics, First Choice Pools, Goldberg and Osborne the Injury Lawyers, Kaiser Garage Doors and Gates, O'Reilly Chevrolet, Showtime Sports Cards, Tucson Police Department, and by Meridian Wealth Management. Wealth well managed, life well lived.
Does it feel like the price of everything is going up, up, up? We can't control the price of gas or groceries, but at Royal Buick GMC, we never add market adjustments, even while other dealers add fees because inventory is limited. At Royal Buick GMC, you can rest assured you won't pay market adjustments, and we stand by our transparent online pricing. Royal Buick GMC, the dealership that's different. OAC plus tax, title, license, dealer installed options, and $529 doc fee. Royal Buick GMC, in the Auto Mall and at RoyalTucson.com.
Cool Willie's Air and Plumbing. Always trust the big guy. Mention your Wildcats and receive $50 off any repair at CoolWillies.com. Cool Willie's is proud to be a partner of the University of Arizona Wildcats radio broadcast. 2 powerful teams working hard for you to get the job done right every day. Cool Willie's Air and Plumbing. Big enough to help, small enough to care. Remember to mention your Wildcats and receive $50 off any repair. CoolWillies.com.
The base of the Rincon Mountain foothills. Enjoy stunning mountain views up close every day. 6 model homes are now open to tour at Del Webb at Rockin' K. Here, life is about more than just beautiful homes. It's about the experiences waiting outside your front door at this new 55-plus active adult neighborhood. LiveRockingK.com. Designed by nature. Proud U of A radio broadcast sponsor.
Make the right choice for your home when it comes to windows and doors. For more than 20 years, the Window Depot has provided the best price and biggest inventory on in-stock windows and doors. The Window Depot is open to the public, so whether you're a homeowner or a contractor, you can shop the enormous warehouse. Browse the shelves with over 1,000 vinyl windows, interior and patio doors, and skylights in several varieties and sizes available to go home today. Shop thewindowdepot.com or find a location near you. The Window Depot. Best price, biggest inventory.
Hi, this is Peter Costa, former governor of the New York Stock Exchange and proud member of the Advisory Business Council with Meridian Wealth Management.